That's my baby.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday night, and we are brought to you by the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. Many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We are happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call, reach out, 856-651-8117. Tom Arnone, Ralph Delvecchio, Ryan Brodo, Noah Eaton, Frank Vespi, Nate Moss, Greg Milakovic's doing his hair. Be here in a few. The family out there joining us. What's up, baby? Let's talk about it. We got a lot to go over. It is Super Bowl week. It's here. It's upon us. Always exciting times, even if your team's not in the dance. And with a matchup like this, it's exciting. You expect for some maybe high-powered offense, right? A lot of scoring. Could be a really fun Super Bowl. Or 75% chance of rain, and it be a backyard fest in the freaking mud and the rain and just nastiness. All right, so we don't know, but regardless, we got two great teams in the Super Bowl, and it's going to be an enjoyable one. So we'll give our Super Bowl picks, some prop bets, some fun like that at the end of the show when it comes to Super Bowl. Eagles talk, there's a lot to talk about. There's plenty. Not only the hiring of Nick Sirianni, you have more to staff together now. We really wanted to see that come together. A younger staff, a really young staff. And guess what? And then you have everything that comes out every day surrounding the quarterback position. And there's more on the horizon today and on the agenda because obviously Adam Schefter wants to come out today and put out reports about Carson Wentz not wanting to be here, but the Eagles still wanting him to be here. It's a whole mess. We'll discuss. We'll talk about it. We'll also circle the NBA. Okay, we'll discuss a little bit about some people might not like the crumb of the day yesterday. Okay, there's a Lakers fan on here. Just talked about it with the ladies a few minutes ago. But we'll circle the NBA. Not only that, some teams, obviously, and the Sixers, because the Sixers are the main topic at hand. We have the Flyers on now, up 3-1 versus the Bruins. Got to love that. So Flyers conversation, live reactions are on the table. But our main topic, Sixers versus Hornets. We'll post-game it. All right, and listen, it started out as a real clean one, and one you're like, okay, you can almost change the channel, go to Flyers early, but it's the NBA. It's the NBA, and that's why it's a crazy sport because it always comes down to the last 5 minutes usually, and they let a Hornets team that's been playing good basketball back in it, and credit to the Sixers again on the road, another road win. I don't care who you're beating on the road. I don't care who they are. I don't care what jersey they're wearing. Road wins are hard in this league, so you get them any way you can get them. And this team's over 500 on the road. They're undefeated with their starting five. Exciting times. Ties into our poll question, which is brought to you by Body Check Wellness. Use promo code A2D for 20% off. It's bodycheckwellness.com. Promo code A2D, 20% off. Our poll question, the Sixers will have 3 All-Stars this year. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where you can find us live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download. Listen, wherever you're watching, pound the like button. All right? Pound the like, pound the follow, pound the subscribe. Whatever button you can pound it. Just don't pound the down button. Nobody's got time for that. All right? If you really hate us, that's what the comment section's here for. Get it off your chest. To the poll question, absolutely agree because one, Joel Embiid's walking there. Tobias Harris is having a great season and an underrated season. So I agree wholeheartedly that he's going to be an all-star in some fashion. And I believe because of the fan vote, all right, Ben Simmons is going to be an all-star. And people don't got to like it. People can get upset about it, but he's probably going to be an all-star. And you're the best team in the Eastern Conference. And when you're the best team in the conference, you deserve 3 All-Stars usually, or at least 2. But this team has 3 All-Star caliber players. You can say whatever we want about Ben. He picked this game up. He played better tonight, more aggressive. He's been more aggressive over the last stretch. All right? Hasn't been perfect, but he's been more aggressive. So, you'll take it. But I think there's 3 All-Stars because I think the fan vote really helps Ben Simmons get into the game. Australia votes count. You know what I mean? Australia votes count because, he's going to get a large voting from that area too. But he's a star player. He's a talked about player. And when you're at his caliber and young, you usually get into this game. So I'll agree to the poll. I'm excited about this team. They continue to win games that they won last year in different ways. And not like this is one of them games, right? But it's just this is a better Hornets team. And usually you go, this is a game they would go fumble up. And I like that they're going and taking care of business against teams they're supposed to beat. And the MVP of the league is carrying them. It's flat out carrying them. And it's exciting times in the city of brotherly love when it comes to basketball. It's a big basketball city. Big basketball city. And I think 3 All-Stars go. We're a big market with fan votes. Absolutely 3 go. And they're the only 3 that would go. Like, nobody else. One good news signed another Sixers good news thing. Shake Milton looked like that would be like a tear, right? Like the way he came on that was like almost like KD's and like Clay's, and you're like, oh no. And then he shot his free throws and exited, and you're like, man, we're not deep enough to afford that. Like, his walking 15 a night. Like, we need that. We need his double digits. So good news. He came back in the game. He played. So a little sigh of relief there. Because this Sixers team had the same record this time last year. Okay? Remember that. But now they don't. So giddy up. Let's go. It's a better basketball team. If you watch this basketball team and last year's basketball team, it's a flat-out better basketball team. Okay? Last year's starting 5 couldn't hold this year's starting 5 jockstrap. And I always said it perfectly on the telecast. Joel Embiid hasn't gotten better. Maybe he has, he said. But this is what spacing does. He's always been this good. But when you can double and triple, you don't look as good. Now coaching comes, get him in the post comes, right? All that. He's grown, okay? But I was right. You add talent, you add guys that you actually have to respect them shooting the 3 ball. That's it. You have to respect it. Seth and Danny, you have to respect it, and Tobias. So there's 3 guys on the court that can spread it, and Joe's a 4th, right? And he showed tonight early on. He was wet from 3, baby. Wet from 3. 3 All-Stars go. That's what I got to say. Family out there that's joining us, chime in. Comment in. We'll read all your questions, comments. We'll get to everything we can get to. After we circle the board, we'll go right to the biggest crumb of them all. The Lakers Jabron. He's on, he hates courtside Karen. And here he is. I'm just kidding. But no, we'll go a little away from the pom-poms and we'll go to a Lakers fan and continue to circle the board. So the Sixers have 3 All-Stars.
For the poll question, I'm going to go disagree. I think there's only 2 All-Stars on the Sixers team right now, and that's Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. But I think those 2 guys will make it. I don't think Ben does make it. I think he's the lone man out. I don't think Ben makes it just because of the way he's been playing so far, the ups and downs where, 2 of those guys have been consistent all year. So for me, to the poll, I'm going to go disagree.
All right, yeah, I think he gets it just for fans. You know what I mean? Like sometimes guys might not be totally.
And he might get it just for that because we know it's a popular vote and stuff like that. So
I like the All-Star game. So Embiid, Harris, and maybe Doc coaching. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
but no, they're gonna. Yeah, I mean, that's the only guy that maybe is up for question, Ralphie, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What do you say to the poll?
Yeah, I actually agree to it. And Tom, I'm actually going to piggyback right off of what you were saying. I think he's on the borderline. I mean, there's no question that Tobias and Joel Embiid should and probably will. I mean, definitely with Embiid, and I would say 95% chance if Tobias continues to play the way he is, he should absolutely be an All-Star. If he's not, then I think it's absolutely fraudulent as far as who would get in over him. And I look at Ben Simmons and I say, okay, well, the start of his season, you look at some of his numbers are down. But the way he's been playing the last 5-6 games, I think is trending into a direction where he is going to be kind of on the fringe. And then to your point, Tom, when you look at, obviously we're a big mark, you look at how active the Sixers fans are in any other year as far as the fan voting. And I think this would be one of those years to where maybe just based off of stats and on the court accomplishments, you could say Ben Simmons maybe doesn't deserve to be on there. But I would say based off of the fan voting and how he's trending the last week or so, I think he is going to get, maybe backdoor his way into being an all-star for the third straight year. So I'll go agree.
And if he wasn't on the best team in the East right now, then that's not as much of a conversation, I don't think, either. Mm-hmm. But the guy, his numbers aren't phenomenal. 13, 8, and 7. But again, he has picked it up. He has played better basketball, and he gets guys open looks. Noah, what do you say? The Sixers will have 3 All-Stars this year. Agree or disagree?
No, I absolutely agree. Embiid, he's the MVP. For my money, he's the MVP of the league right now. Harris is much improved this year, and he's certainly playing at an all-star level. And as far as Simmons goes, I think a few votes from the Kardashians put him over the top.
Some fake IG accounts. You know what I mean? Some fake accounts coming in.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's hard for him not to get in.
He's in.
He's totally in my opinion. But, listen, I know his numbers don't necessarily speak to being in. But if you factor in, he's been an all-star. What was he, all-star last year and the year before? He's been all-star last 2 years?
Yeah.
It almost walks you in. That's almost like, That's almost like a buffet. Like once you get in. Like once you start getting in, you usually just keep getting in unless you're just shit. So, which he's
pretty
been
much.
At times.
You see it across all 4 major sports. You see a lot of the big names. They'll have a great run, and then even towards the end of their career, even if they're only a subpar player, they still find themselves getting voted in.
Donovan, appreciate it. I don't think, you're talking about teams that aren't good outside of Jaylen Brown. Now, Jaylen Brown absolutely is an all-star. But we're talking about the other 3. They're losing teams. The Bulls are better. Bradley Beal's a pimp. But after his little antics the other night, I wouldn't give him anything. And I love Bradley Beal. He going to get nothing. You stay home for all-star weekend. Extra timeout.
Again, because he got snubbed last year, too.
Yeah, we're going to really upset you.
Yeah, he got snubbed big time last year.
Yeah, he does.
Big time.
Bill gets in this year for sure.
Yeah, he should get in now. Frank, what do you say to the poll?
As much as I would love to have all 3 in the All-Star game of Ben, Joel, and Toby in the All-Star game, I disagree to the poll. I think 2 of the 3 will get in. How the fan voting works, it tends to skew out of proportion to players who are not deserving. I know Bradley Beal, he got snubbed last year. I think he's a definite lock-in for the All-Star game. I think Ben will be the odd man out for the All-Star vote. It's going to take a lot for him to make him a bona fide, just a bona fide lock for the All-Star game, despite making it the past couple seasons. But I think it's all going to come down to the fan vote. It's going to come down to, I think San 8 said it in the comments that it's going to come down to Saturday if he's an all-star, if he's worthy of an all-star bid.
Yeah, I think it's almost impossible for him to not get in. You know what I mean? Like I said, if they were in second place in the Eastern Conference, or a little further down, anywhere down. But if you're first in the East and you have star caliber players, the NBA usually values winning.
Yeah.
And usually wants to hype up those stars on those teams that are winning. Doesn't guarantee you 3. Nothing ever guarantees it. But the fan voting for Simmons is just ridiculous. He'll outvote Toby.
Oh, yeah.
He'll outvote Toby, and Toby's has had a better year. You know what I mean? And he'll outvote him. And that's a great.
And looking at it too, you look at how loaded the Eastern Conference is as well. So, one huge name in the East will get snubbed, and I know a lot of people are probably going to stuff the ballots to have Durant, Kyrie, and Harden all on the same ballot, which is highly likely because it's happened a couple of years ago where they in the Western Conference they had the entire starting lineup of the Golden State Warriors. So I wouldn't be surprised if they stuffed the ballots with the Brooklyn Nets starters.
Oh, they'll definitely stuff it because it's a star-driven league. They get their stars. I'll never disagree with the NBA on that one. They know how to promote their stars. They've always done a hell of a job of promoting their stars. Baseball can take notes on how to promote your stars, the way the NBA does. And that's why they bring Ken Griffey Jr. back. They try to like hype up baseball to the kids again. Nate, 3 All-Stars? Agree or disagree?
No, we're gonna have to disagree, man. Ben's gonna be the odd man out, and I think
Hater bottom, haters on the bottom.
Of course, man. I'll be known for that. I can be known for that for sure. But I mean, I think he just hit it right on the head. I think because all 3 of the stars in Brooklyn are going to get in, and I'm just looking at the lay of the land, like you said, the top of the list here. You got the Sixers. I think you got the 2 there. Then you got Greek Freak out in the Bucks. Then you have the 3 in Brooklyn. Tatum shouldn't get in, but he might steal some votes away. You know what I mean? And then you got Beal. You got Young. Nobody's in Cleveland. And don't forget about
Colin Sexton's having a really good
Sexton.
year.
Yeah,
Sexton.
he is. Like he's not.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. What's the dude's name out in Toronto? Van Fleet, who just dropped. Who dropped almost 60. That put him on radar for everybody because they've been pumping that. So you got a lot of players that might get that first run that I think is going to have Ben out of there, man. He hasn't shined enough to get the votes, in my opinion. Scratch him out.
But the funny thing about the NBA and the fan vote is it's not fair. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. It's not fair. It's set up not to be fair. Set up to stuff the ballots. And a guy like him, who's a star guy, and a big market, he gets his ballot stuffed. I think, he might get his ballot stuffed more than Bradley Beal. He could, because he plays in such a market that's hasn't been good for a while, and you're not going to be as rabid about your basketball team as your other teams. You know what I mean? It's just like the way
Bill. Like they've been pumping how quote unquote upset Bill, and I think Bill just came out and said, like, I don't know why the media is talking all this shit. I want to stay in Washington, but Bill's been getting a lot of press this year for sure.
Getting a lot of press.
This year, last year he was getting some, because he was carrying a team. But this year, obviously, he's carrying the team even more. And I think his press, even though it's somewhat of a small market, like you said, it's still outshining, Ben. Bill, there's no doubt in my mind that Bill will be a starter for sure.
Yeah, doesn't deserve it, but
he only drops 35 a night.
Yeah, I don't care what he does, Nate. I could care less anymore what Bradley Beal does after that little stunt. All right, you can win. I'll care in a year from now. I don't care now. That really turns me off from a player big time. We'll get it.
What did he do? I missed that one. What did he do?
We'll get it. We'll get into it later. We'll save it when we get around the NBA. It'll be a good circle topic too. I'll get everybody's thoughts on that. Okay, so the bottom so far, 0-2 on the bottom. Does Greg
bring us home?
Does Greg sweep the hater board bottom?
Bring us home.
Greg, do you do it?
Bring us home.
I am going to agree to the poll.
Boo.
I'm going to agree to the poll. I do think. Boo. I don't necessarily always like the fan vote. I think it's a crock of shit just because some people get in, they should deserve it. I'm not saying Ben doesn't necessarily not totally deserve it. Is he having as great of a year as he had in the past where he has deserved it? No. But I do think all the factors that we've talked about before, the market, the fan vote, being, one of the top guys of an entire continent, in the sport and being the face of almost the entire continent kind of helps you out there. So I do think he ends up getting the fan vote, and we do get 3 guys.
Rob, I mean, Tobias has played his way into an all-star. You're like, don't undersell this group either. Like, this group shouldn't be undersold. The way they played, all right, and to be able to be where they're at with how good the East is and be the number 1 team in the East right now. Granted, it's still early-ish. Okay, I mean that's 2 all-stars guaranteed. That's guaranteed 2 all-stars. Like, you can make the case that Ben gets in over Toby just for the fan vote. You know what I mean? So, Toby's more deserving, though. Absolutely more deserving. Toby should be an all-star. If he's not, then, that's what's wrong with all-star voting. Guy had 26 again tonight. He's averaging 20. I mean, he's averaging 20 a game. So, I mean,
which is really good for him.
Just right where you want him to be.
Yeah.
Guarantee an all-star appearance. But what does is star power and winning. And this team has two of them things happening in Ben and Joe. Like, Ben and Joe are locks to me. Like, I don't know how Ben Simmons doesn't get in. The one that you could literally make the case for because of fan voting would really beat Tobias, honestly. Right? Because he's not as star-driven.
Even over Tobias, Ben is still a lock. Even over him having a good year that he is right now.
Harris gets in because of that shot from LA. That's how Harris gets in.
Yeah.
If he misses that shot, he's not an all-star. But the fact that he made that game winner, he's an all-star for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If, like I said, I agree that all three get in. But to be honest, like if there's one that's left out, it would be Toby. You know what I mean? Like it would be that guy left out because he's not as star-driven.
Yeah, he doesn't have the name attached to him.
Yeah, he's not dropping 25 a night either. Like he's having a really good year, and he's been definition of consistency. But he's also does, you know what I mean? He's not selling sneakers. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's like like that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And their whole marketing team. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's just how they do it. But we'll see. We'll see if all three get in. And you know, like I said, somebody said that in here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's a huge win tonight. It's a huge win tonight, and then you go and Saturday's a big game too. I mean, you like especially when you're on the road, and the Hornets are a better basketball team than they've been in years past, and another team that puts up a fight when you go into their building, and they did tonight. They could have folded in the first quarter there. Oh, Rob, I get how many good players there are. There's tons of good players in the league. I get it, but the NBA usually values winning. If you tell me that there's been a ton of good players in the NBA the last 2 years, and Ben Simmons has been an all-star, and he's not averaging 25 a game. You know what I mean? Not averaging 25 a game to be an all-star. He's been an all-star every year. So tonight, again, guys, like we started to talk about another good win, and you know, Toby 26, Joel 34, and he's so efficient. You know, if he misses 1 out of every 5 games, is my question to you guys. If he misses 1 out of every 5 games, but every time in them 4 games he's on the court and you're winning basketball games, and he's going for 30 plus, and he's as dominant as he is, are you guys good with that? Or 1 out of every 5 to 7 games, he's taking 1 down?
Yeah, because we've talked even in the past years during the process, right? We didn't need to play a full 72. You know, give me 65. Give me 60 games. You know what I mean? Like work in some of those load management or those nagging knee injuries that just, you know, the wear and tear of the season. I'm okay. Yeah, 1 every 7 games you're going to take out. Okay, cool. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather have you great in June and July and ready to go than to have you posterizing people in the regular season.
Yeah, I agree. Nate, we'll circle the other way now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You need him for the playoffs. You need him to be able to take it up another notch. It's crazy that you ask him to take up another notch, but they're going to need it in the playoffs. So completely agree with the load management strategy. If it needs
1 out of 5 pieces, okay with you guys? And can it still because it's 72 so like 1 out of 5, 7 isn't as many. Obviously, 82. I don't know what that comes out to exactly. I was thinking about it in the shower the other day. That's why I just thought about it now again. It was like
it's like that sleeping meme. Like, you know, the girl's like, oh, I wonder if he's thinking about other girls in the shower. And Tom's like, nope, thinking about Joel's load management in the shower.
So if he skips Sunday's game, that'd be 1 out of 7. That means he can skip the 7th.
That'd be about 1 every 6 or 7. Yeah.
He's got a full grade in the shower.
Math in my head, so every 6 games, like he'll skip 1 of them. So
he'll play like what, like out of 72, he'll play what, like 58?
Let's see.
That's 14.
72.
Somebody get a calculator. I'm getting a calculator. I'm
not good at math. I'll
showing your 72 is 6 and 12. So
all right, let's say he plays 55, 60 games.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by the Bruins goal. I lost my train of thought.
How about that?
You carry the 1 minus the 0.
Yeah.
He's still an MVP in your eyes. And is it okay with you guys? As long as
I'm fine with it. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with it. You know, we finally got to see what this team can do without Joel. They finally got that win without Joel. I think they got it together. So I hope it carries through so we can play at the top of our game without Joel.
Well, that's a different story, though, Tom, real quick. Sorry to cut you off, Noah, but I don't know if he necessarily wins the MVP missing that many games, but I think it's okay for the Sixers if he misses that many games.
Yeah, it's all about priorities. It's like, do we, as fans, do we want the best chance to get to a championship, or would we rather see one of our guys for the first time since 2007 to win an MVP? That's the tough kind of battle we have to have.
And if he goes, for instance, if he missed 10,
I don't know which parade is bigger.
Oh, the Eagles for sure.
Yeah,
Without a doubt. Well, that's not even a question.
If he missed 10 out of 12,
They throw you a parade for winning chips, not for how many MVPs you get awarded.
Thanks, Captain Obvious up there.
There you go. Happy to help anytime.
I agree to that completely. I still think you can miss 12 games and still win an MVP. I don't think that's like egregious.
Yeah, I think he can still win it.
Like, I don't think it's egregious.
That dude, I think, to be
and he's
honest,
putting up 35 and 12. He'll be fine.
Dude, to be honest, that dude's got that on lock. It's phenomenal what that dude's doing every single night.
Why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing that?
I don't like
Stop talking right now. Stop talking right now.
I think so.
Go have your brother talk to courtside Karen again.
Oh, Jesus.
And get all fired up.
Noah, do you care about him missing games? Does it bother you at all when you see it come up, Joe not playing? Or do you agree with, get him through, and if he misses 12 games, it doesn't matter as long as he's ready to go.
Look, if he only plays 60 games and he gives you everything he's got every time he steps on the court, well, then I don't care if he misses those 12 games. I mean, the point is you want to get the best and the most out of him when he's on the floor. And if that means only playing him 60 games and he's ready at playoff time, then that's what they need to do.
Oh, absolutely. Rye?
Yeah, I to be honest, him being the MVP would be awesome. And I'm not saying I don't want it to happen, but when you kind of stack it up against, would I rather have an MVP or the best chance we could possibly have to win a title and actually forget about winning a title, get to the finals, get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And we all know we don't do that without, an 85% or better Joel Embiid. To be honest, my biggest concern is not even, the fact that he might lose out on the MVP voting. It's that, is this team good enough without him to still have the number one seed if he misses a bulk of games? That would be my concern. And that would go back to, okay, and granted, the last time we didn't have Embiid, it was the last game we played. We came off with a win, and that was the first time we won without him. But to me, we need to continue to see Ben Simmons playing the way he has, Tobias playing the way he has, and a little bit more from the bench. So I'm not there as far as just saying, oh, well, we're absolutely fine. I know for a fact that 90% of the games without Joel, we would have that situation. If we got to that point as a fan base where we're absolutely comfortable, in spots without Joel, then I would say absolutely do it. But to me, my concern isn't even like, hey, if he misses 10, 12 games, is he going to be without the MVP? My concern is, oh my God, if he's going to miss a bulk, are we going to slide out of the number one seed to where I know people said in the comments? That's really important, knowing how, just based off of how we are at home, how great we are at home.
Yeah. I mean, remember though, we're over 500 on the road now at 6-5. We haven't been there in a long time. We haven't won 6 games in a row, or 6 games on the road in a long, long time. And that's a better basketball team. That's the type of that's what makes you the number one team in the East when you play over 500 on the road.
Scored.
Yep, that was quick. And 10-1 and 10-1 at home. But yeah, you want them. But if you're winning the 4 or 5 games he plays, and even coughing the one up he doesn't, you're still probably going to be the number one seed. You know what I mean? You'd probably still be number one at that point.
What was that money line? They were down. They were up 3-1. That's insane.
Yeah, they were up 3-1 with 5 minutes left.
What was that fucking money line?
Pissed it away.
I'm going to say this. I know people aren't going to like this, but But this is just why. Stop fucking crowning dudes early. I don't give a rat's ass. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. I don't care how their defense isn't good or the whole NHL's defense is bad. Okay, all right, defense all around are bad at times. Okay, but I haven't. Right, they're big stops. I need to be made sometimes. All right, and he has not played up to the level of the best goalie in hockey and all the other things. All right, and I'm not crushing the guy. Sophomore slump, it looks like. All right, not a good look though, because he's getting his lamp lit a little bit too much now. And you can talk about all the defense you want to talk about. Franchise changers, they make up for the bad defense. Okay, they make up for the bad defense. It's like making 2 million excuses for Carson. You can only make so many. I'm not comparing Carter to Carson. I'm just making the comparison. Like, it's all right to hold him accountable sometimes, too. The defense isn't good. I get it, but he's part of the choke chops here. He's part of some of these leads that are blown. He's been a part of them. All right, I'll use one of Brinkman's words: unacceptable. Unacceptable.
I think I did that pretty good. I don't.
I don't like the.
No, but you're absolutely right, Tom. Because it's the same argument with Carson, right? This year, it was you say he's got no weapons, but then you want to crown him for last year when he took that team to the playoffs, right? So you're absolutely right. It's the same thing. You want to say it's no defense, but at the end of the day, if he's supposed to be what he is, and again, he's still young. It's not like he's not going to not get there. Where's Noah? What the?
It's a wall.
But the concern is there. If he's that great, he's got to make up for some of it. You're absolutely right.
No, you need more stand on your head.
Oh, there he is.
Stand on your head a couple times. You know what I mean? It's not like you're playing with leads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Playing with leads. Listen, hockey team needs a lot of work. All right. They're not as good as everybody thinks they are. And if you don't have a goalie, and there hasn't been one yet, that this year out of him and Elliott that really wants to take the reins and say, I'm the number one guy, really hasn't need to really run away with that one. So take that for what it is. But, I'm not down on Carter, but he's having a little bit of a sophomore slump. And the defense isn't helping him. I get that. But, hey, franchise guys stand on their head sometimes. A lot of times.
They make their presence known.
Up 3-1 with 5 minutes left. I mean, you got to close that game down.
And Ralph, how many times, guys? How many times is this? No,
Tom, what did we say on Monday, Tom? Blowing leads like what? Phillies bullpen.
It's worse.
Well, they still haven't gotten any better, by the way.
Yeah, but it's close. Listen, you got a 3-1 lead against a team. Maddie's probably fuming right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh
it's
God.
a fucking disgrace. Okay, and Big B, put on your big boy pants because this team, we're watching the difference of two franchises in this city. We watch the Sixers with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, fucking lock you down, lock all windows and doors, like Mark says, right? Lock all windows and doors, and we watch the difference of how one team plays in the fourth quarter and how the other teams play in the third quarter. All right, and the Flyers have coughed up numerous third quarter leads. That is a disgrace when you have this kind of goalie, supposedly, and this kind of roster. Not good enough, okay? If you want to be a Stanley Cup contender, not good enough. You watch the other team in this city in the fourth quarter, they're a different basketball team they are than in the first 5 minutes of a game, right? And I'm not saying the whole thing doesn't matter, but it does if you lose.
Yeah.
If you win, if it win, the rest of it doesn't matter. That's why we always say, listen, hockey's turning the same thing, fam, as the NBA, right? It doesn't matter up until the third quarter. I mean, the third period, sorry. It doesn't matter up until the third period. And basketball doesn't matter to the fourth quarter anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like they're the same. They're in the same conversation now because you're watching it right here. Fucking leads every night. Every night. Who do you blame the most? Let me get a little blame game for Flyers. Without peaches and goddamn cream. Who do you guys blame the most? Give me one name.
For tonight's game?
Everything. Right now, yeah. For all the blown leads, you can just go tonight. Who do you blame?
For tonight, I'm gonna go Carter Hart. You're up 3-1, and you're franchise goalie. I need you to make the key stops for me down the stretch. Okay, 5 minutes left to go, up 3-1. I cannot let you piss that away. Cannot let you piss that away.
Nope. Just watching it again. Just a little dagger. Another dagger to the heart.
Part of me wants to blame the fan base, but technically the fan base doesn't affect how they play on the ice.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, half the Twitter was saying, I was watching the Sixers, at the beginning of the Flyers game, so I missed it. But, half my Twitter timeline was saying, hey, can we sit down Travis Konechny again?
Of course they are. Well, Flyers fan base is it. I mean, Morris, I get it. I get what the record is, and you are what your record says you are. But Philly sports passion, he's right. The Bruins are an elite team. We're not.
We expected, and all we asked, like, people went full in the deep end and said, oh, bona fide Stanley Cup contenders. But I think a lot of us, at least the people that were realistic, said, okay, can you build off of what you had last year, and can you just show that level of consistency? Because you don't have the excuse of, oh, the bubble, oh, you were caught off guard with obviously the stoppage of the season. You don't have that. No. You don't have that excuse anymore. And what we've seen now is the definition of inconsistency. So, and the thing that like I said, it's early in the season. You're going to have lulls, and it's still a young, hockey team. But as you've seen with Alain Vigneault in his past jobs as head coach, this is kind of a trend with him to where the first year he goes to a team, they skyrocket, and then every year since, every year after that, they kind of start taking little steps back. So that's like a little concern of mine, but damn. Stop what, Daly?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still saying they're a good hockey team. I don't look at it blows a ton of leads as a Stanley Cup contender.
I mean, they're still a good team. I mean, I was looking at the standings, and they're tied for first in the East with Boston. But looking at this team, they've lost several pieces so far to injury, mainly on the defense. I mean, going into the start of the season, you lose Matt Niskanen to retirement. The younger defensemen aren't really doing their jobs. We in Philadelphia love this next man up mentality, but they're not playing up to par right now. And hopefully they try to make another move for defense eventually. But right now I see just the lack of the youth stepping up right now on this inconsistency.
Brian, I could be wrong here. This is their second loss to Boston, and they had another OT game versus Boston. Am I correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And they won the other OT game, or they lost that OT game. They lost the other OT game, right? Then they lose the other one in a shootout.
Yeah, in the shootout. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, so they're 0-3, essentially, in my eyes. And then they get the walk-away point for the shootout, which is cute. All right? You get the little tie. It's cute. Okay? But in my eyes, they're 0-3 against the Boston Bruins. So if you want to contend for a cup, you got to show you can beat them. You got to be able to beat them. I don't want to hear who's out and who's not. I'm so sick of this shit. Not with you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's players missing, but you have your core pieces still here.
Mm-hmm.
You have your goaltender. You have, you know what I mean? You have your scorers. You have enough. You have enough to have a 3-1 lead, right? You have enough to have leads versus them, but not enough to hold the lead. No, that comes down to not playing.
Yeah, they lost 5-4 the shootout game. The next game after that against Boston, they lost 6-1.
Yeah,
and then obviously they lost tonight in overtime.
Another just blown leads. Blown leads are never a good time, and blown leads never make for good hockey teams.
And it's becoming a trend.
Mm-hmm. The other scary part of that,
it already became a trend. That's the funny thing. It's not even becoming anymore. It is a trend. Sorry.
The other scary part too is they last played on Sunday, so they haven't played in a couple days, and they came out in that first period and they looked slow, as evident by a goal with 12 seconds in. You give up a goal 12 seconds in, they looked really slow in that first period because that's the only game that was on down here, right? And so that's what I watched. And they looked bad in the first period. They were lucky to get out just down 1-0. And I thought as the game was going on, you're going to be like, all right, This is, again, going to be a microcosm of their record, where they're not playing as good as their record shows, but at the end of the day, they're getting out with W's. Well, tonight came back to bite them in the ass, right? They played bad, where they played slow early on, got down behind, and then coughed it up at the end of the game. You can't do that. Not after sitting for 3 days.
Well, didn't it take
my big thing, Greg? My biggest thing with this hockey team for the longest time has been to be able to skate some people, right? And have playmaker wingers that can create plays on their own without the help of design or dump and chase, a guy who can just go around you, right? They don't have that. They really don't have that. They think a little here and there, right? But they're still not a team that's going to, like, it looks like that's going to outskate you. Like we really, like, have been wanting, so they're closer to where we want them to be, but they're not really there yet. And you win it instead. If the first period, after 3 days goddamn rest, if you're not out skating everybody, right, even as fucking Zamboni, there's an issue. You should be out skating everybody. There ain't nothing in there that should out skate you.
Yep.
Right? Well, I mean, gold medalists shouldn't be out skating you.
Didn't it take a long time for them to even get a shot on net, too? Like, wasn't there, like, a good portion of the first period where, like, they had 0 shots on net?
Yeah.
Yep. And they never leave shots on net, right? That's been the whole freaking last 15 years of the Flyers of watching them. We get outshot 35 to, like, 20. Oh, that was fun. Thanks for showing up, guys. This has been a blast. Like, I mean, you get tired of watching it. Like, I might as well go watch soccer. You know what I mean? I might as well go soccer if I want fucking to score a goal game and get 20 pucks on net, and they're all, like, work in front of the net. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's, like, easy. And it still feels like there's a little bit of that today, too, where it's like other teams look like they score with just pimps on the ice. And I don't know, like, you guys can tell me all the pimps we have, and I'm going to be like, okay. I mean, there's good hockey players on this team, but, like, stars?
We're missing one of our biggest pimps, though, right now.
Oh,
and that's, and Coots.
Yeah, best two-way player.
But it's not, it's at this point, it's no longer an excuse, right? It's not like he went down yesterday.
He's been out for almost a week.
He's been out for a couple weeks, if not a month already. Yeah. So it's not a new excuse, but yes.
All right, so I want to circle the NBA with you guys, and obviously want to first we'll bring up two things, but we'll start with Bradley Beal. All right, and we'll start with what you watched the other night if you did get a chance to watch, and if you didn't see it, just a quick recap of what happened. They were losing. He at one point on the court wasn't moving. His arms were like folded. Okay, at two different points, I believe. And then there was a point in time where he played no defense and was letting people go by him. And then there was a timeout where he sat on the scorer's table or wherever he sat and never went into the timeout circle when he was on the court. Like he was going back in. You know what I mean? And didn't sit there. And I really like Bradley Beal, but that rubbed me really the wrong way. And this whole woe is me 2021 bullshit with players when you don't want to be somewhere instead of trying to play better and harder. I know he has played hard, and I know he's been a really, and I know how good he's been, right? But try to win more games. You know what I mean? Try to do more. Okay? You know what I mean? Try. I mean, you got you and Westbrook. Try to go to work. Try to win more basketball games. Don't be like that to your teammates, right? I don't care if you hate the organization. I don't care if you hate everything about Washington. You understand? I don't care. To never do that to your teammates. And when we talk about role models on the court, that's another example of shit I don't like. If you want to do LeBron's and you want to leave and go somewhere else and go to Miami, I don't care about that stuff. Like, I don't care going and teaming up with guys and trying to win. That doesn't bother me as much. What bothers me is control what you can control in the moment. All right, and you can't control if you get traded or not. But you hurt your value that guys like me, if I was a GM, like, that's a tough look for me. Because what happens if we're going when things are going bad here? What happens? You're going to quit? You're going to quit? Because we don't want that in this locker room. And I know that's not the kind of character guy he is. And for him to come out and say the other day, like, I want to be here. Okay. I mean, a lot of people told you to say that one because the other night, sure as hell didn't look like you wanted to be there. They're not the actions of a guy who wants to be somewhere. It's actually quite the opposite. So I get it. You listen, you put some water on the fire. Good. Like, it's over with. I don't want to see that again from Bradley Beal. He's too talented of a player for that bullshit. Okay? Too talented. That hurts your value, babe. Doesn't help your value ever. And it's a bad fucking look for anybody that's got a competitive bone in their body. If I'm the coach, you come sit here. You ain't going back in then. We'll lose this game. I don't care. But stars run the league. I get it. But it's a bad look. And I've never seen that look from him before. So you let it go to a point. You know what I mean? I don't like it. It's going to sit with me for a minute. But I'll get over it, obviously. But it's just a bad look. And again, I talk about guys don't got to be role models off the fields or off the court. All right? They don't want to be sometimes, and I get it. But on the court, I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's where you're a role model at. Your actions on the court. Okay? And looking like you're quitting on teammates is never a good look for anybody when you're the caliber of player Bradley Beal is. Because now it's everybody's got their eyes on it. All right? And no kid needs to see that. Because it does translate down. Oh, we're losing. We don't want that. And that's my issue with it. You're too talented for that bullshit. We'll go down here with Greg and we'll circle this way back up around. Thoughts on Bradley Beal's situation? If you are a team we'll add this into it. If you're a team that's interested in him, does it turn you away? Does it not matter to you? And if it doesn't matter to you got to please explain to me how and why.
So, yeah, no, it is concerning. But kind of as you alluded to, you don't see it often from him. So I'm not going to continue, absolutely kill him. To use the phrase as Sweep said on Sunday, if he's walking around with his Snoopy sleeping bag and we can get him for cheap, I'm still in. Just because you don't see it a lot, right? It's something you haven't seen. It is concerning in the moment, absolutely, because of the look that it gives off. But he doesn't have the pattern of it yet. And so it's not like he's not full total crumb on me yet. So while I may have a little reservation of giving up a lot for him, he still does drop 37 a night, 35 a night. So at the end of the day, I still would trade for him. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving Ben up for him. I never was anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't even talking Sixers related. I was just saying if you're a GM of any team.
Yeah.
Does it turn you off a little bit, at least right now in the moment?
In the moment, a little bit, but at the end of the day, if I'm a GM of any team, I still got to win games. And if I can add 35 a night, I'll take it. Yeah,
well, he doesn't guarantee you wins, even if you're going to get him, because it's not like he's winning where he's at either. So, I agree it's not a great roster. I get it. Everybody wants to tell me that. That's great. You know what I mean? You got two guys who drop 20 plus a night and are high energy guys. You guys should have more than 4 wins. Let's be real. Like Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, it's unacceptable for them to have 4 wins. Like it really is. It truly is. Like I don't care what Russ is at this point of his career. He's the most high energy guy on the court at all times. Like the guy like lunch pails to every game. You can talk as much shit on him as you want. He's a lunch pail cat, and it doesn't always necessarily win him games, but he's always brings it 100%. And I feel like if Bradley did the same thing night in, night out, defensively, he won't talk about not being able to guard park cars. Then guard a park car that. Guard a park car that. Because it starts with you and Russ. You got young guys on your team. It starts with you two. You set the example of the culture you want to build. Because it's your team. That's my only issue. I'll be over it. I already essentially am because I got off my chest Monday. But, go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, no, I don't got a problem with him showing some emotion, showing some frustrations. I think it's the first time he's in this role where he is the lead guy like this. So I don't have a problem with it. We get too caught up with these athletes and forget that these are regular people just like me and you. So, we get mad when we get a hangnail or some other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? He's dropping 30-something a night, and they're not, and they're 4-12. They haven't been good when have they ever been good in the Eastern Conference? You know what I'm saying? Maybe tops 5th, 4th in the Eastern Conference at one point. Yeah. Maybe with him and Ball, we're going at it. So when you think about it, man, like I don't mind him wearing his emotional sleeves, and it gets the best of us. A lot of us sometimes, and it just cracks me up when people just tell him we get so quick to judge. We don't know what's going behind that locker room. We don't know what kind of leader he is. We don't, we're all speculating. It's just the same thing like when Brett Favre came out talking about Deshaun Watson. Like, what the fuck does Brett Favre know about what's going on with Deshaun Watson? at this point. You know what I'm saying? Go back to making regular Wrangler jeans commercials, dog. Like, fuck you talking about, man?
You can't. Listen, you're old school, Nate. You're old school.
Old school, man.
Oh, you're old school. The woe is me. Take my ball and leave places.
I'm old school.
But that
we got to give these guys credit, man. We have to give them a little bit of credit to being great all the time. He says Bradley Beal over his career says the right things all the time. He shows up. He's doing all the right things, and now we're going to crucify him because he was disengaged because they fucking suck. Like, give me a break, man.
Yeah, listen, if you're playing 72, if you're fucking playing cricket that I never played in my life, I'm coming out trying to beat you. If we're 0-90, that 91st game, I still want to take you out and hit a bomb in cricket. So no matter what sport I'm playing, your competitive edge is come on. Like, you never do that. That's bad looks always. I don't want to crush the guy. And listen, I don't care what's going on behind closed doors. On the court, you can't show that shit.
You talked about him Monday, right?
Oh,
I didn't catch it. Did you talk about him Monday?
Yeah, I talked about him personally. Yeah.
Did you talk about him yesterday?
No.
Okay, but you're talking about him today, right?
Well, I'm talking the great conversation too.
You're close to crushing him, right? You're getting there, man. We got he's been losing for how many years? He's been losing in Washington.
Woe is me. Nobody wanted Chicago until Mike got there. I don't want to hear this stuff.
You can't compare Mike. It's Mike, though. Mike is the GOAT, man. You can't say
I
Mike.
understand
Mike's
that.
a bad example.
But no, we didn't win shit till Joe got here. Joe changed our whole franchise. The minute Joel Embiid walked on the court, we won basketball games. That's simple. That's what generational talents do. So, great, he can score 37. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo to me. Because it's not whoop-de-doo until I see that. And now it becomes, what? What are you doing, dude? Come on. To take my ball? After the 48 minutes is up, go to the locker room and throw everything around. Toss everything around. Go to the presser and rip everybody you want to rip for all I care. But on the court, play the game for the guy next to you. It's selfish, and it's what sort of, and I'll say it about Deshaun Watson too. I don't give a shit what goes on in Houston. All right? You can win out all you want. All right? But you disrespect the fans too by doing this stuff. And players never want to look at it that way. And yes, I'll say this. Your bank accounts equal me being allowed to say, what are you being a little baby for? Go play the game. Go play the game.
Nah, man, you give too much onus to you don't give, even as big as Deshaun Watson is, he's still the small guy in the equation. Because the owner controls everything, right? We're talking about billions. You know, they was talking about how much money he makes. We're talking about fucking billions, dog. It's a drop in a bucket compared to what Deshaun Watson make. You know what I mean? They had an agreement. He's the face of the franchise. Just like any other quarterback in this league gets to say somewhat into the head coaching, GM, and all that. And now they just pass him over. And then you got old ass Brett Favre talking about just shut up and play. Man, shut the fuck up, man. These men could come out and have an opinion and say what they want to say. Like, I'm not trying to hear that right now. I get what you're saying about Bill. It's a bad example for the youth and people that look up to him. But at the same time, it's the first time we've ever seen him like this. It's the first time we ever seen him like this. Like, give me a break, man. They be jumping on these guys way too fast, too hard. Like, these dudes are they're men, just like me and you.
Exactly. And be a man. Be a man. You listen. If you got something between your sack on the court, you never quit. You never quit. Or in the moment, you never quit in the moment. You might go home and quit, right? You might do different things and you quit that way. But you never quit in the moment in the game. In the game. That's never ever going to be acceptable. And if that's not crushworthy, then I'm not doing my job, I feel like, by holding these dudes somewhat accountable for the way they go about their business. When you're not getting paid $15 an hour, honey, you're getting paid more money than any of us will ever see in our life, and rightfully so, because you earned it, right? But what comes with earning that comes with, on a nightly basis, the baby shit I got no time for. Now, Deshaun, I don't care enough about him to get up on an arm. Do whatever you want. All right, Houston organization's a shithole. I don't care, right? But Bradley,
and Washington's not. Washington's a fucking cesspool. Like, what are we talking about here? Washington's a fucking shithole.
Well, he's doing it after the season. Nate, he didn't quit in season. I never saw that from Deshaun Watson on the field, ever. He never quits on the field. So there's a big difference of quitting on a field and after the season saying, you know what, dude, I'm done with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had enough. You know what I mean? You guys don't.
It was it that he did it. So I didn't see it, but I do remember him him being disengaged from the huddle. What game was it?
I almost started smoking in
the Nets game. The game they actually won.
The Nets game?
The Nets, they came back. Yep.
So it was the Nets game. Oh, okay.
In the first half, he just like stopped playing.
Right.
Really? And then in typical Bradley Beal fashion, drops 40 in the second half.
I feel like Kobe did this before too. When Kobe was just disengaged from the group, he was just so disgusted with the team. And it's hard because we're talking about legends. We're talking about GOATs of the game. You know, like it's hard. Like, do we give those guys passes because of who they are and what they've done? And Bill's what, 23, 24, 25? I don't know how old he is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not like this is not the first time we're seeing this. You know what I'm saying?
Ralphie, didn't LeBron do it a couple years ago? His first year with the Lakers? Weren't they making a big deal that he wasn't sitting with the teammates?
Yeah, something like that. We got blown out, and he wasn't sitting with the teammates. Rondo, it was the first year that LeBron was here, and Rondo did it his first year with the Lakers as well. Wasn't sitting with teammates and stuff like that. So, I mean.
Is that where he met courtside, Karen?
No. That was the other night. But to the Bradley Beal thing, I didn't even see that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's his first time doing it. I mean, I've always known Bradley Beal to be a guy that just goes out and just plays basketball and is just a straight monster on the court. So I mean, if this is like his first time and I'm a GM, I mean, I'm still trading for Bradley Beal. I mean, the dude's a beast, man. The dude is a straight beast.
Yeah, it's not, and it's, you know, I talked about it on Monday with Tom, you know, I didn't love it, but, you know, it's not going to make GM stray away from him because, well, two things. Number one, a GM and an owner is going to buy into their culture. So like a Miami Heat, to where they talk about culture all the time, they're going to say, well, is he going to do that here? And two, it's definitely not going to make a GM stray away because you saw literally, a month ago, not even, James Harden situation where the teammates literally declared war on him. He declared war on them. He looked like he got 30 pounds heavier. And you had a 3-team trade where the team that got him traded away a boatload to get him. We've never heard that Bradley Beal's a bad teammate. We've heard the exact opposite. Did I like what he did? No, but it's not going to make a GM stray away. It's just not.
I don't think we've heard one way or the other, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think there's enough sample or substance to know how good of a teammate or not he is. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying there's not enough to know. Like, as soon as the guy, there was rifts in Washington, and him and John Wall never got along. They hated each other. And then when John Wall got traded, it was like kumbaya. You know what I mean? So like, you never know what's like true and false.
Absolutely.
You want to portray and make it. I just go by what my eyes see. And like, I know there's GMs out there that are going to think like me for a couple weeks, and they're going to be like, do I want to? Because what happens if something goes a little south for us, right? Or just a point that what I would say is, you know, I got to do a little bit. I got to dive deeper into him a little bit. You know what I mean? I got to ask around and get some recommendations per se. And then I'll probably be all good with making the move. You know what I mean? But I almost have to like go looking to make sure like what I saw, because everybody saw it. What I saw isn't going to happen here, right? And that's all you're looking for. And I'm not saying it ever will happen again. You know what I mean? He could grow from it and learn from it, and got the right people in his ear. You know what I mean? And it never happens again. I don't like doing this, dude, especially the players of his caliber. Like, I'm not trying to take your kneecaps out. I'm just saying there's something I always learned. And it's in the game, you never quit, ever. You quit right after it. You could be your most pissed off guy and not and you know what I mean? Not do pressers and be mad as shit. But that one, you know, just rubs me. It just rubs me in the wrong way because I just know as a competitive junkie, none of us are doing that, no matter how bad things are going. Now, not saying when you're young, though, shit happens. And I'll tie into our next one in a few minutes who isn't young, but Frank, Noah, I know you guys didn't go yet on this, so please.
Yeah. As far as that goes, I mean, there's just no excuse for that. I mean, sure, all right, he's young. I mean, the bottom line is you're getting a nice, healthy paycheck, all right? A hell of a lot more than obviously well, I'll speak for myself, but then obviously more than what I'll ever see in a lifetime. You know, the bottom line is you play to win every game, and, you know, your job is to put 100% effort on the floor for the 48 minutes you're on the floor. And anything less than that is unacceptable. So hopefully for his sake, he'll learn from it. But yeah, if I'm a GM, I mean, yes, I know he's a talented player. Would I still consider trading for him? Yes, but as you were alluding to, Tommy, yeah, but whichever GM decides to trade for him, they better do their homework.
And yeah, he is 27 too, so he's not like
Right.
You know, it's not like a 23-year-old, but I get it too. I mean, both sides of it. He's been somewhere a long time, and they've been bad. But
he's never been the lead dog either. This is the first time he's been the lead dog. You know what I mean? That's a lot of pressure.
Responsibility comes with that. Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? He's putting up. You know what I mean? For him, looking at it, he's doing what he can do, and they still getting bombed on. You know what I mean? You see when Westbrook made that shot. See how high he jumped for joy. Just to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's win number 3, right?
Yeah.
Or 4? You know what I'm saying? Like that's we don't understand the pressure these boys feel, man. Like it's like you know what I mean? People talk about people's paychecks and bank accounts and how rich these boys are. And those, you know what I mean? Well, a lot of people say, well, I don't like to have those type of problems. Like it's just as bad at the top, man. They got rich guy problems, rich guy responsibilities, rich guy pressure. Some people break under that, man.
Oh, absolutely. But
you're
I
know where you're coming from, though, Tom. I know what you're saying. Like you, as a competitor, as somebody who's playing on the field, you never quit. It doesn't matter if you're getting blown the air out. Fuck, you give it everything you got. And I definitely understand. That it doesn't pass your eye, your eye test. You saw what you saw. Like, you gave up. You gave up the lane, or you just looked so disengaged. I can't stand it. I hate it. You're pouting because you're getting $30 million a year. Play the fucking game how it should be played. I get that, but like I said, at the end of the day, man, these people, they're regular. They're not robots, right? They get they have feelings. They have, you know what I mean?
I'm the king. This isn't Madden. I mean, I say that a million times. I get it, but I still gonna hold guys accountable because I feel like that's my job too. You know what I mean? My job is to talk about it, discuss it, tear it apart, move on. But at the end of the day, the court and the field are always your sanctuary. And you don't disrespect the sanctuary. You don't disrespect the game. And that's how I'm just my old school in me. You can say whatever the hell you want. A presser doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? You can say I never want to come back here again. Like you can say a lot of things that aren't going to faze me. But that place in terms of playing, that's where you just listen. If it happens again, we'll talk again, Frank.
Yeah, if I was a GM, I would not be concerned one bit with. I mean, yeah, he's clearly frustrated, and he doesn't have a lot of his players around him. So you have the league's worst record. So if this becomes a recurring pattern for Bradley Beal, then I would raise the flags a little bit. But for right now, after what I've seen, at least in the highlight videos, because I didn't watch the game, but I'm not worried one bit.
Oh, that's fine. The next NBA, I'll say topic is this is a little bit of a quicker one, but what happened? There was fans at a Hawks game, and there was some back and forth, and in my opinion, neither party's right. Doesn't give fans permission because you buy a ticket to be a jerk off. You know what I mean? Doesn't give you the right. But that's been happening at sporting events forever. And my only issue with it is LeBron James is a great man off the court, never been in trouble. I give respect and due right where it should be, right? And when you're under that much of a microscope, someone's going to come up, right? Nothing's ever came up, okay? Great guy for his community, all the things he does. Never take any of that away from him, ever. His greatness, that's not something I jump on and rip. You know what I mean? I'm fair with LeBron. Ralphie knows that. I like to rip him when we play him, but I respect his greatness. But listen, you can say whatever the hell you want to him, to the steroid dude. Say whatever you want to him. Okay. I understand again. I understand that in the competitive atmosphere, you might say something. All right. I'll just make the point like I made on the previous show, and then you guys go and have at it any way you want to. Is if you ever been down the third baseline during AAU baseball and been on the other side where their fans sit and mommy sits, okay, and you start whooping up on somebody, and then they want to start getting on you at third base because you guys are hitting the ball, and it becomes like something I did wrong. You know what I mean? And they start barking at you, and now you're coaching, your adrenaline's going like you're playing. And I've been in many situations where women are like, I don't like him. And I'm like, and I won't say nothing, and then they'll say something again. I'll be like, yo, enough. You don't talk to me, right? Simple as that. I'm not going to call. I'm not going to say, if I said, this is why I just hate double standards, right? Double standards in life drive me crazy. Because if anybody, like, says, call somebody a rank ass, whatever. You can say a rank ass, sit your rank ass down to a woman. If I said that, and I was on video, I'm never coaching again. And rightfully so. Or maybe not rightfully so. Maybe she deserved it. But guess what? I'm still getting held accountable for it. So my only thing to him is, I don't give a rat's ass. You can tell her to sit down. You can say whatever you want. But it's a woman. You're arguing with the dude. She got involved for like 5 seconds, dude. She doesn't matter to you. Don't make her famous. You're LeBron James. We talked about Bradley Beal being young. LeBron James is here, heard everything, guys. All right? And he should be better than even engaging it. Because my biggest issue is you just made them famous. Because you engaged it. You engage him, fine. But don't keep engaging. You don't need to engage her. You know what I mean? Because then you're just escalating the situation. And for you being the same age I am, and as long as you've been around the league, I get the competitive juices. Guys talking trash to you. There's not a lot. There's nobody there. You're hearing it all.
Yeah,
all right?
hear every word.
I got no problem when you going back at him. But just give her the same thing she gave you. You know what I mean? Sit down. You know what I mean? Sit down. Don't talk to me. You know what I mean? I got no problem with a lot of things you can say to her that are like, dude, again, just be a fucking example on the court. Like, you don't talk to women like that. She shouldn't talk to you like that. I'm not saying, I said this a million times. Neither party's right. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. But you just don't talk to women like that. That's my biggest gripe with it.
What did she say, and what did he say back? I didn't catch that yet.
I didn't get what she said because hers was quick, right? Like, hers was really fast. The big altercation was with him and the man. But I heard him say, I heard rank ass, sit your rank ass, or you sit down, you rank ass bitch, or something like that. But it was definitely rank ass. I heard bitch too. That's debatable, I guess. But regardless, it's not like I'm not,
and I apologize to any women out there. I'm sorry, I thought it was funny. My apologies. My apologies.
It's fine to think it's a little funny. It doesn't really like overly bother me. He just needs to set a better example again. Like, just walk away from it, dude. You're too good for it. That's my point with LeBron. Like, I wouldn't be critical of anybody else that isn't his stature for that. You know what I mean? Like, just don't talk to a woman like that. You can say whatever you want to her. Tell her to sit down. Tell her don't talk to you. Whatever. Just don't call her bitch, bro. You know what I mean?
She might make a book out of it later.
Yeah.
Right.
She was on an apology tour after.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like setting up like a GoFundMe or something. It's like, oh, LeBron called me a bad name. Sign up to my GoFundMe.
He was actually like admitted to being in the wrong too for engaging.
Right.
And that's all he had to do after the game was just say, hey, I should never engage them.
And he even said that she didn't need to be thrown out of the game.
Tom, I'll ask you, did you have a problem with his tweet afterwards where he like continued on afterwards with the not with what he said, like the courtside Karen thing, not that, but like the fact that like even after the game he continued with it? Does that bother you at all?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole thing bothered me. What is he doing? What are you're getting defensive almost, right? And when you get defensive, that tells me you know you did something that you probably shouldn't have said. That's it. And he knows it. He's better than this. This is why I'll be critical of him. I'll be critical of Jordan for saying the same shit if he said it and if I heard it, right? You got to know that, like, that shit's getting on camera, bro. And you got a wife at home, and if somebody called her a rank-ass bitch, you are going full steam at somebody. You know what I mean? So we all are. Somebody talks to a woman like that in our life. So I get listen, adrenaline's going, shit gets said, dude. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. It's another situation where it's just topic of conversation type and get your guys' thoughts on it. But To me, it's just like, dude, you don't say that. You're way better than this. And somebody tried to compare it to Ron Artest. Are we serious, dude?
No.
Water at the dude. Throw water or a beer at him.
Yeah.
I'm going up in the stands. I applaud Ron Artest and Steven Jackson. I'll applaud them too. If LeBron went and knocked the dude out, right, I'm applauding them more. I'll give him a standing ovation. Don't talk shit, right? Just don't talk to the girl like that. She ain't, you know what I mean? It's between you and the alpha male. You two alpha males going at it. I don't give a shit what she says to you. That's my whole point. Mm-hmm. She's irrelevant. She should never, you know what I mean? Don't say nothing to her. You just made her fucking famous. Go ahead, guys.
Ralphie?
No, I agree with where all of Tommy's points where, both sides are in fault here. Obviously every sporting event has that one person, either, front row, down the lower concourse, or even up in the nosebleeds. There's always going to be that one person that's always, saying some wild stuff that, I can't believe I'm hearing this right now type of shit. So,
hi, how are you?
Yeah. Noah, yeah.
Dude's snapping.
Yeah. But for both of them, I think they're both in the wrong. Obviously, we all unfolded. But yeah, I agree, Tommy. You don't say that to a woman. No matter who you are, no matter what. I don't deal with that.
Ralphie, you're right. I mean, I think where the discussion got lost over the last 24 to 48 hours since the incident happened was that all these debates on social media was about, everybody picking sides. Like, I felt like, sending out a tweet. I don't even use Twitter. Like, sending out a tweet, be like, guys, they can both be in the wrong here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be one side's right and the other side's right. Like, they could both be in the wrong here.
Yeah, neither are like egregious to the point, Rye, to your point. Like you both did something wrong. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. It's obviously a topic of conversation because, it's LeBron. You know what I mean? And that's another reason, like, LeBron, be better.
Yes, exactly. Like, to me, I think the whole situation was blown way too out of proportion, and it was based off of, again, it could, to your point, Tom, it could have easily been avoided. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, LeBron saying, after the game, he's, it's good to have fans back. He's not used to that fan. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? That might take a little, to get used to, I guess, for some of the players, especially the players that are getting chirped at a lot. But, for the people out there that were saying, LeBron shouldn't care about it, regardless of if it was a woman or a man, because that's what happens when you're pro athletes, you get chirped at. But my retort to it is, okay, well, it doesn't mean it's like Nate said earlier with Bradley Beal. Doesn't mean they're robots. Doesn't mean you just because you pay it, for a ticket doesn't mean you can come up there and say whatever you want to the person. You know what I'm saying? There's a line that you don't cross.
Exactly. And to my comparison, I compare it to like going to a comedy show. Nobody wants to go to a comedy show to hear a heckler. Once the heckler makes a crack at the comedian strikes back, and that's how I kind of compared it to. To me, if you're being a Karen, you're asking for it. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for Karens getting an issue. Yeah, maybe LeBron should have said it different, but I just don't like Karens in particular. And with that, I'm gonna go complain to a manager, and I'll see you guys next week.
Okay.
See you, Frank.
And the only other thing I'll
take it easy, Frank.
I'll try.
I'll add this real quick before I go to Noah. It's that in LeBron's case, bro, like if you want to have like a little testosterone battle between you and the steroid guy, as you called him, okay, whatever, dude. But you're LeBron James. Get out of there. Walk away. You know what I'm saying? There's security there. There's people that are there to remove them from the situation. You don't need to make it a big thing. Like, I know you were kind of having fun with it in the post game. You were having fun with it with the tweet, but come on now. Like, you're an example. You're the it guy for the NBA. You're one of the it guys for sports worldwide. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, these things are going to happen, and LeBron probably hears more things than that. So I can understand it. I'm not going to try and put myself in his shoes because nobody knows except for LeBron and a few people of his caliber as far as fame, what it's like to be LeBron. But just get out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? Remove yourself from the situation, and I don't think we'd even be having this discussion today because I don't think anyone, except for maybe the people in the building and some of the Lakers fans, I don't think anyone would really even know it even happened, to be honest.
as far as LeBron James goes, I mean, look, he's got to know that as soon as you step out, as soon as he steps out his front door, there's going to be somebody with something to say, and there's going to be somebody with a camera. You know what I mean? Or a mic, or you name it. So, I mean, it goes without saying that he obviously, unfortunately, but given the spotlight he's in, fair or unfair, he's really has to watch what he's saying, and I mean, I don't know the dude, but from all accounts, I think from all accounts, I mean, at least from public perception, he seems like a great guy. He's obviously done a lot for the game of basketball and has done a lot for various charities worldwide, has helped a lot of children out, and has really been a great ambassador for the game of basketball worldwide. Much like Jordan back in the 80s and 90s. But I mean, the bottom line is he, like as you're alluding to, Ryan, he shouldn't have said a damn thing to that woman. Just ignore it and head up the court. You know what I mean? And that's what security's there for. Security's there to handle clowns like that. He shouldn't have had to take that. He shouldn't take it upon himself to address it in any way, shape, or form, except to point to a security guy and say, "Hey, can you take care of that for me?" That's it. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, look. I used to sit in the 700 level at the vet for Eagles games, guys. Yeah, me and a few buddies, we probably said a bunch of shit back in the day that we probably shouldn't have, and probably said a bunch of stuff that if we would have said it in the workplace, we would be fired. All right, but I mean, the bottom line is it's a changed world. It's a different times we live in now in 2020, and you got to really be careful with what comes out of your mouth.
It's true. Nate?
So, yeah, you guys, I like all the responses that you guys got. You gave great press release type responses. But you know what? Fuck that. He should have said that shit, and he should have added that if my wife was in the goddamn stands, my wife would fuck you up right now. Fuck that. That's what y'all boys talking about. It's the game of basketball. He was talking trash. She got up when two men were talking, and he just said what he had to say real quick. It was just probably like really sly. Like he came up, he talking shit, popping shit with the guy. The woman comes up and says, like, "Shut the fuck up, man. Sit your stink ass down." You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Let's have fun with it, man. I'm not trying to hear that. Absolutely, he should have said what he said to that woman. Sit that ass down. Should have never got up. Lucky Savannah wasn't out there. Got it.
Greg?
Yeah, I mean, I just hope it doesn't ruin it for hecklers all over the world, right? Because I know, I seem to even know I don't never ever crossed any lines, but I remember Jimmy Clausen coming into the Beaver Stadium, locking eyes with me after I threw a couple jabs at him that his Notre Dame receivers weren't as good as his Mater D high school receivers. Turned around, locked eyes, and I'm like, "Oops, here you go, we're good." But no, I mean it's a no-win situation for all of it. None of it probably should have been said, but it doesn't. It happens. I'm sure LeBron's heard worse. It's just now there's no fans, and now you hear literally every word.
Yep. I do.
True.
Oh, there you go. Tom.
No, I mean, I get what Nate's saying too. I mean, you engage somebody, you get somebody in a heated moment, probably going to say some things you probably wouldn't usually say. So,
he laughed it off too in the press conference. He was cracking the fuck up because they probably laughed it off on the court. He probably Jimmy, "Yo, you hear me say tell that bitch to shut down?" You know what I mean? Like,
got his way.
Good time, man.
You got to reject it. So,
yeah. That's all. I think it's all good, man. I think people taking a little. I mean, I understand there might have been some things said that probably were quote unquote inappropriate and talking to a woman. I get that, but looking at his face, I mean, He's probably, like you said, seen it 1,000 times, said things worse. They talk shit on the court all day. And then to have fans back and not have to talk shit to the same people all the time, it probably felt great. It probably felt good.
Oh, yeah. Listen, it probably didn't feel bad for him. You see the way he was laughing afterwards. You know, and listen, when you're doing a crumb of the day, he's a crumb of the day.
No, he's a good guy, man. I don't think he's a crumb.
Listen,
I think you missed one of them crumbs of the day. I said this to you too, because a lot of your crumbs were blah 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 blah, and you think no notes and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, don't agree, so they're blah blah.
Nah, I don't agree with the blah. You had a couple missed crumbs of the day, man. I think that was one of them.
That's not a miss. How's that a miss?
It was a miss. Hey, put that guy up. Prism 280. Put that guy up. Agree with Nate, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Prism, return all that gear I just sent you.
And he's a valid crumb. When, let's be honest, when you're doing a crumb of the day, you know, you're lifting up rocks, babe. You know what I mean? And you do what gets you heated in the moment. And you know, you guys can all take notes on that. So if LeBron gets me heated in the moment, or a Bradley Beal, or Ben, or Joe, or fucking anybody, it doesn't take away from them being a great guy. You know what I mean? Or a bad person because you get crumbed of the day. It's happened. And everybody gets that. You know, Miles has gotten it, and Miles still shares A2D shit. So you know what I mean? Miles, we're going to segue to Eagles. You know, Miles shares A2D shit because he can handle it. Grown man makes me like him even more. You know what I mean? There's guys out there that can handle the crumbs. And there's some guys out there they get a little small between the legs.
Who was it was Jenkins was the other crumb of the day you had.
He's a crumb.
No, he's not a crumb.
Oh dear.
You listen to 5 minutes of him telling you that he doesn't know what's going on there. He doesn't follow him, but then needed to tell you how much he followed him for 5 goddamn minutes. 5 minutes. Rich asked one more question. In 5 minutes, he went on a whole tirade. Listen, I love Malcolm. I'll say it a million times. See, nobody listens fully in the videos. I said I love Malcolm. I always respect Malcolm for what he brought me, but grow the hell up. Grow up.
What did he say? What did he say that made him a crumb?
If you're my friend.
I know, and I heard the interview. I heard the interview that he had. So I was listening because I remember seeing you say he was a crumb. I'm like, all right, what is Tom talking about here? And I didn't hear it. He didn't give me nothing. You didn't give me nothing that made him a crumb. And that's in the statements that he said.
My crumb starts from a year previously.
Oh, okay. All right, we gotta go deep.
So no, real quick, it was a crumb of the day because after the Eagles lost to the Saints, the next morning he was talking about a contract extension. He brought it up. Okay, he talked about it. Didn't need to do it, right? We're taking a loss hard here, right? Our losses sit with us for a minute. Talk about it at the end of the week.
Okay.
All right, this hold off. Well, he came right in on the Instagram post.
That whole year, though, there was talk about his salary, and he showed up. Remember, because he didn't go to training camp earlier in the year.
Never take anything away from the dude when it comes to that. Right?
Okay.
Understand finances, but it's all about time and place. Not the time and place right after an L. Mr. Leader to be talking about money right now. Wait a minute. Okay, just hold on. That's all. Hold on, because this sits with us all year, baby. So hold on. Okay, it's our last game of the year. It can wait a minute. It can wait 1 second. Okay, you can give 48 hours, babe, before you want to go on a new deal tour. Okay, that's it. He came in. Well, it wasn't that day. Okay. So now you're getting semantics with me. It was the next morning. Sorry, Malcolm. I was so off base with it. So then that piggybacks into the Rich Eisen one where he says one would start the whole thing off and you lost all credibilities when you said, I don't really pay attention over there. And then you went into great detail. You pay attention. So I digress on that. The second part of it was how much he's your friend. He's your friend, and you are the leader, but then you told us that he got away with too many things. Where the fuck's my leader at, my friend? To hold me accountable then. That's my issue with it. That's what drives me crazy. You can't sit up on the hill and say, well, you know what? These are all things wrong with him and the organization, but you were the leader. We all looked at you as a leader.
But he never said what was wrong with him. He just said the things that they could do better to help him.
He said there's egos. He said he's brought up egos. Mm-hmm. He brought these things up about a friend. He gave you little crumbs to tell you how bad things are in his eyes. All right? And now he's not good enough. And he went on a Jalen Hurts book tour at the end of it. I mean, he's like, he played
brothers. You should already know brothers, man. You should already know.
He said spark. They're 1-3. No, they sparked your ass, Malcolm. That's the only ass they sparked when they beat you. Ain't no spark after that. We were the team we were. Not good enough, regardless who the quarterback was. Because the team stunk. So, that's my issue. Why he's a crumb. That's a crumb in a day candidate. You're not his friend. Don't bring up friend then. Don't you say friend. Okay? Because friends and leaders, we talk. We talk when there's something I think you need to be held accountable for. We have a conversation behind closed doors, and I hold you accountable. And if you don't like it, punch me in the face. Oh, Nate, you play football. You know the leader.
Yeah. But see, what I'm saying is that the way he talked about it, he didn't specifically get out specifics. He said, "Hey, Carson didn't have a good year. So there's some things that we all go as players, and we come out every year, and things that we want to improve on." It seems like that didn't happen with Wentz. From what he's saying, that's what I gather from him. He didn't say, "Hey, Carson's my friend. Hey, but you need to work on A, B, C, and D." He just said, as a collective, every player in the league looks at the year before and then tries to improve on that. And then the coaching staff didn't call him out on his mechanics and stuff like that. Everybody knew that he needed to get better on. I don't think that's calling him out.
Saying it's the second time that a backup quarterback's take your job, essentially, and there was a spark. That's outlandish. That's outlandish. It's outlandish. That's everything right there I need to know. You finished it off, Malcolm, by telling us who you really felt should be the quarterback, and at no point did you go out of your way in your 5-minute little tirade and look at me, right, party. Then one time did you say, you know what, though? He's a great leader, though, and a great friend. Not one freaking time did you point out that he is a good leader. Not one time, not even great. You didn't even say good, anything. You actually downplayed him being a leader, and he just does whatever he wants, right? He goes to the cafeteria. You can only get 2 things. He takes the whole cafeteria with him. That's how he's acting like he is. Come on. I love Malcolm, but we can look through it and be like, oh, okay. I'm not saying he's wrong. That's the funny thing. I'm crumbing him because you can't say you're his friend and say you didn't pay attention. But then you got all this info.
Yeah, okay. I think the biggest problem with it, to me, it has nothing to do with even he said about Carson or anything about the team. It's that if Ralph came to me and said, hey, if I asked him a question and Ralph said to me, oh, well, I don't know much about the situation. I'm not paying attention to it. But then 30 seconds later, he goes on a 6-minute monologue. At the end of it, I'm like, the hell what just happened? What just happened? For somebody who pays no attention to it, which he said, damn, you have a lot to say about it. Like I said, when we were listening to it in the moment last week, I forgot it was the Rich Eisen show for a second. That's how long Malcolm was going. To where people coming at Tom and coming at us saying oh, well, you guys have a problem with it just because it's about Carson. To me, it has nothing to do. I'm just talking about me. It has nothing to do with what he said about Carson because I didn't disagree with any of it. It's just at the end of the day, you can't say, hey, I don't really pay attention to it that much and have 100 things to say about it. That, to me, it just reeks of.
He's been here for how long was he here? 5-6 years. You don't think he doesn't know the locker room?
He does. I would have traded Carson yesterday. This is what I hate. People want to attack me on YouTube. This is what I hate. I would have traded Carson yesterday because I'm over it. You understand? I am sick of it all. I don't want to hear it anymore. And if I'm Carson, I would want out too. Every day my name's coming up. All right? Every day my name's coming up. So me as a fan, I'm tired of it, guys. I'm so overhearing it every day. Right? So I'm at the point now where people think I'm defending Carson. No, I'm not. You can trade him yesterday. You know what I mean? I don't care anymore. Make a decision because this is ridiculous. This is absurd. This is Nick Foles on steroids, right? This is what this is. This is bad. This is not good, and the media is thriving off of it, and it's not good. So I don't know what to do.
It's
what
not
would you
going to
guys
stop
do?
either.
There's always quarterback situations in Philly for whatever reason. Always a quarterback.
Always something.
Bro, it's like Philadelphia as a whole just loves drama.
Loves it.
Just
Ralph.
loves drama. No
Especially
matter
with-
what.
especially
we
with our
could go 19-0 or 18-0, whatever it is, and still have drama in this city about a quarterback.
Yes.
It does not matter. It does not matter.
We won the Super Bowl and we still had drama afterwards.
Still had drama going into
Still had
that
drama.
season.
Like,
Yep.
how did that happen? You do what you're supposed to do. You do the first thing that this city is still quarreling about, and we still had drama afterwards.
Yep.
It's insane.
A year ago,
The next
we're like,
season.
oh, we're going to be on a high for a minute, right, Ralph? Like, we're not going to complain about nothing. Fucking week one. It's freaking like World War II. You know what I mean? It was like there was a freaking invasion on social media. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as that team lost games, it was an onslaught. When's Wentz coming back? We need Wentz. We can't win with Foles. Like, everybody flip-flops, and we're like, what's going on? So you guys all love Nick. And then it was like, we can't win without Carson. Carson rushes back, right? Then he hurts his back again. This whole thing is like, some of the stuff is probably true at this point. I don't even care if it is. But, like, there's type A personalities all around professional sports and at the quarterback position. I don't know why this one's all of a sudden a big deal, right? And to me, it's just, and I want you guys to answer. Like, would you just trade him? Like, at this point right now, no matter how much you think he can be, like, I know Chuck was saying he looks at him in the top 10, but he can never be a lead again. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't agree he can never be a lead again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he can be. He can be a lead again. That's unfair to say. But that's just like one person I just don't fully agree with on it. But my other side of me is like, you know what? I'm worn out. I mean, this is from 2018 on.
Dude, it seems like it's every single day, Tommy. There's something new. And it's getting to the point where it's like, bro, it's either you have to move the guy, right? Or you just eat all this hatred talk and go win football games next year with a roster that probably won't be good to begin with anyway. Yeah. So I think right now the Eagles are in a, damn if you do, damn if you don't situation right now with Carson Wentz. It's
Ralph, I couldn't agree more.
Tough spot.
We're in a no-win situation.
We all know how front offices work. When the new guy comes in, they want their guy. So does Sirianni want his guy to be his quarterback? You know what I mean? Just like how Doug Doug did when he came in. They went up, they moved up and got Carson.
Well, obviously Sirianni.
Not going to be the same way here. Or do they give Carson one more year in the new system just to see how it plays out, and then after this year, you ramp up the trade talks if something goes downhill.
This is remarkable. Real quick, no, I didn't say this. We got everybody from Indianapolis because we thought that would make him happy. Go ahead now.
Yeah.
Hey, Ralph, to your point, part of that sentence, give, the key word give. And here's the thing. We shouldn't be giving anything to Carson. What we should be doing, let's assume we can't deal him because of his cap or whatever. All right, let's assume he in theory, let's just, for argument's sake, let's just assume he's on the roster in 2021. The bottom line is, at all 22 positions, there should be a competition. And Carson if Carson is going to come back and be in an Eagles uniform in 2021, he better understand that he's going to be in a competition with Jalen Hurts for the starting job. And it's may the best man win. Because I'll tell you what right now, you know what would get Sirianni fired real fast is if you just gave the keys to Carson and coddled him along the way. We go 4-12 or whatever again, and then what?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because not only are you not getting the most out of Carson, then you're losing the locker room you're also losing the locker room to boot. So,
can't you have both though? Like, can't you not necessarily coddle, but can't you hold guys accountable and still give the guy the keys? Like, can't you do both when you give a guy $128 million? Like, can't you give him the keys, but then also hold him accountable?
It should be like that. And you should be, and we heard it all year long too with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got Tom Brady, right? Bruce Arians is still cursing at Tom Brady, holding him accountable. Hey, you didn't make that throw perfect. You got to do better. You got to do this better. Where's that with Carson, man? Listen, this year with Carson, has regressed dramatically, like bad. I know I said that word wrong. I don't care. Okay, but listen, it was bad as my vocabulary.
Drastically,
right?
I love it.
Dramatic and drastic.
Yeah, same
it turns
thing.
into
Same
dramatically.
thing.
Dramatically.
Yeah. New word.
Trade
New
him.
word.
Would you trade him, guys? That's the main question. Like, Nate, would you trade him? Greg, Noah, Ralphie, would you guys trade him? Would you just say, fuck it? Let's just move on.
Tom,
so here's the question. Stafford got they got a haul for Stafford.
A haul.
Where's Wentz? Like I think we talked about. The first thing I thought about was if that's Stafford, what's Watson's worth? But now my question is then let's take a step back. What's Wentz worth to you? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
What do I need?
I think
other
he's still
teams
worth
right now, a
multiple.
bag of peanuts.
I think he's still worth multiple picks, bro. Multiple first-round picks.
Yeah, he's 2 firsts. He's 2 firsts, and I need a defensive starter.
Absolutely.
And then I'll move on. I need a defensive starter.
That Stafford trade,
26 that starts on defense.
That Stafford trade set the market, man. Set the market. You sent Jared Goff 2 firsts, a third just for Matt Stafford. That sets the market right there. So if you're gonna trade, what happened?
No, go ahead.
No, if you want Carson, like Tommy said, I want at least 2 first rounders, and I want a defensive player as well, a defensive star.
You say just Stafford, like Stafford's a bum. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they just got Stafford.
I'm not saying Stafford's a bum.
Yeah, I mean, I think Watson kind of breaks that. Obviously, I think you could put Wentz in that same mold as the Stafford, You know, 2 picks a player, 2 picks a late round pick, right? Or 2 first, late round pick, 2 picks, 2 first, and I think to the right team, Watson gets you 3 firsts. I don't give that up, but I think the right team does. Or a Goff-like guy, like for example, Miami, right? I think you can get 2, 3, and 18 from Miami for Watson, because Watson, you haven't seen his play decline like you did Carson, right?
Carson, can I get that for Carson and let Tua and Jalen play together again?
Oh my God! No, I don't want that.
What's Hurts market? You think
it's not the 53rd overall pick?
I think it's first.
See, to me, if it was me, if I could get a first round pick for Hurts, maybe a first and maybe I don't know, maybe like a late pick, like a 4th conditional.
The first round pick,
I would trade Hurts.
Because half the league doesn't have a quarterback. That's the only reason. And he's a puppy, and he showed he can play a little bit enough. So again, there's a team out there that desperately needs a quarterback and has something on tape and likes him a little bit. He can get you first. He can at least get you second back. At worst, he gets your second back.
If I can get a first round pick for Hurts, I would trade Hurts. Because to me, see, I'm a Wentz guy. Like I like Hurts. I wasn't a big believer in Hurts, but his game definitely transitioned a lot better than I initially thought into the league. He regressed a little bit in those last couple games, especially from the stat numbers. He moved the change though. The numbers didn't look good, but he moved the change and he kept us in the game. But after that first read was gone, he was using his legs, and then a lot of drifting when he would do some rollouts there, little with the inaccuracy. But that first game, those first 2 games, obviously he was electric. But if I could get a first round pick for Hurts, I'm actually going with the latter, man. I'm thinking Carson Wentz didn't forget how to play football. Has he regressed? Something that we've never seen before? Abso-fucking-lutely. But at the same time, he has not forgot to play football. He still knows how to play this game. Hopefully, Sirianni and I was one of those crumbs, Tom, that I didn't like that first press conference.
Oh, I didn't like it either.
So I was talking shit this is Philadelphia. You don't come in here with that Indianapolis Colts bullshit. You know what I mean? You will get eaten up alive in this fan base and this media if you don't come out here talking and at least sound like you know what you're talking about. You don't say we're going to be a smart football team because we're going to know the system and we're going to be smart about it. Like, give me a fucking break. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, if I can get value for Hurts, I'm actually trading Hurts, man. I'm a believer in Wentz. So I'm going to actually trade him.
So I agree with you. I love it. I mean, I would have traded Hurts, but I just don't feel like this organization will admit to that being not the right pick. But if you can get a pick higher than 53 for him, did you not value back? You know what I mean? And for everybody out there saying Wentz doesn't get you 2 firsts, you guys are out of your minds. You guys are out of your minds. Matthew Stafford, as much as I love Matthew Stafford, has never won a playoff game. So he just got you 2 firsts and a starting quarterback. Okay,
is that true? Has he never not been to the playoffs?
He's been there. He's never won.
No, it's not like he has this long track record of playoff wins or anything like that. I love Matt. I mean, I think Matt, nobody spins it better at times than Matthew Stafford.
And the Rams are going to be good, man.
They're going to be really good.
They're going to be good, man. The Rams are going to be good, man.
2 firsts for Carson Wentz at 28 years old. Nobody can't tell me that. I'll bet you, John. I'll bet you because you're taking a freaking – then he doesn't get traded like I've been saying because you ain't taking a cap hit unless you're getting a freaking brink truck of draft picks in some fashion backed up to the NovaCare complex. It's the only way, Johnny. It's the only way. You're not going to take the cap hit without the assets back. It's 101 GMing, even though Howie Roseman's an idiot. It's 101 GM that you're not going to take the cap hit without capital back. So you're going to trade him for a first and a third? It's a stupid ass trade. You might never see the value. You might never see the value of what he is with a first and third. At least with 2 firsts, you have 2 shots of getting a Pro Bowler. 2 shots.
Yeah, that Howie will probably whiff on. This is what I say. You just bring them both into camp, let them duke it out. May the best man win. The bottom line is on both sides of the ball, I want the best 11 on the field.
See, I don't like what you
End
just
of
said.
Story.
Because you haven't been engaged like I have. Because you work a ton of hours and you haven't been engaged. Okay, this has been warfare, Noah Eaton. You understand this? This has been 7 days on A2D, getting out of nowhere. It's like you're getting slapped in the back of the head with Carson Wentz news again. And again, and again. And I was the guy, and Ryan and Greg Ralph, Nate even knows this because I probably said it with him. That I was the guy that I wanted them both to compete. If there's 2 guys who can handle it, it should be these 2. They both dealt with it at times in their career. But guess what?
Yep.
I'm at the point where I can't wake up to this every day. Like, it's almost you want to punch holes in the wall. Another story? What do you do now? I'm like, what do you do now? I thought he was in Texas. What do you do now?
Yeah, and I think you guys even posted. I'm looking at the gram now, and you guys even posted. Alex Singleton even jumped in the conversation. Like, this guy has no voice, man. I see people getting all hype about him talking. I'm like, this guy, he's been with us 1 year. It's crazy. Everybody wants to get into the fun. But hey, man, let me get out of here, man. It was always fun jumping on, man. I see you guys next Wednesday on my show on Friday night, Money Pop Podcast. Go check it out. We're doing the wing test. We're doing wings. We're doing wings for the Super Bowl. So make sure you go follow me. Jump on YouTube. We're doing a wing test, and if you like boneless wings, don't jump on the podcast. It's only bone-in wings. We don't do boneless wings. You know what I mean? Tom, fellas, A2D Radio, man. I'm out of here.
Boneless wings.
Take care, Nate.
I was actually going to take that one on the chin and say, yeah, I've been known to say I don't want the mess. Give me the fork. You know what I mean?
Wuss.
Yeah, it happened. It's my Bradley Beal.
It's my Bradley Beal moment.
It's my BB. My BB moment. I brought them things up too tonight because I know. I think Nate took a jab at me somewhere. I forget. It might have been text about them 2 topics that he was gonna come hot at me about. So I was like, all right, they're good circle the room topics. So
absolutely.
I didn't really want to talk about either one again, but I we talked about LeBron on the last show on After Dark. I'm like, I'm worn out by LeBron too now. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way. I'm just done. But I love boneless nuggets. I mean, I love this boneless. It's so easy. You know what I mean? We're in it for easy, for sure. Yeah. But like I know, like Eagles are just a hot topic, and I don't want to be that media outlet that covers them like that, where it's ad nauseum to people. Because the second you start over talking them, like for us to do like a 45-minute segment, it's fine. But they beat it down your throat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what would I take here? What would I take, Johnny? So you would want pick 21 from the Colts, 22 first, and Kahir Willis, their safety.
Yeah, Kari Willis.
Sorry.
Something like that's
That's
happening.
all right.
Something like that's gonna happen.
I'll do that, but I think Andrew Luck's coming out of retirement, so
You think so?
Source talk?
I think he's coming out. I really do. I really do. I truly do. Because you got to remember it as a competitor too, right?
No, I completely understand. It's the old Gronk. It's the old Gronk. You're absolutely right.
Their offensive line.
Give him a huge contract too. Give him a huge contract. 2 years, 100.
Oh, look him right now. Look him.
Because that breaks the Homes. That you come back in and be like, hey.
I like where your head's at. I do like where your head's at.
And they can do it.
I hadn't thought about it, so that's why it just caught me off guard.
They can do that kind of contract because of how much money they have. You know what I'm saying? To where if it's kind of on the brink, be like, hey, Andrew, you're going to come back. You're going to be the highest paid. Not that Andrew's Mr. Money. I mean, he still has a damn flip phone. So the last time we saw him. But he's a guy that, hey, you come back in. What was that, Tom?
He didn't retire over money.
No. It was just he needed a break. And now you look at the organizational, kind of status. You look at the team. This is a way different team, the Colts, than when he retired. And I say that, and it was only 2 years ago.
That offensive line, man. Oh, my goodness.
Defense,
you got defense. You got a running game.
He was Wentz.
He was like Wentz. He was like Carson.
Yeah,
he would get killed back there.
How many times, Tom, have we said that they literally, this organization, and again, I'm going to say it now because I know people in the comments will be like, oh, you're giving excuses. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. At the end of the day, this organization, Andrew Luck, Carson Wentz, the past, 24 months? That's what they've done. That's what they've done. But go back to your original question, Tom, you got to trade one of them. It's not going to stop. It's just not, it's not going to stop. Even if Carson comes out tomorrow and he has a press conference, he says he wants to be here and he goes into training camp and he wins the job, it's not going to stop. Until this guy wins a friggin', I want to say until he wins a playoff game, but honestly, until this guy wins a Super Bowl, it's just going to be a consistent BS. And it's a shame because a large portion of it doesn't even seem to be him. And I'm not going to say it's not all him because who knows, but it just looks to me like this is everything's coming out of the Eagles camp, and it just seems like, oh my God, are they doing the same thing they were doing with Doug Peterson, to where the organization is posturing and they're trying to create the narrative to where it's just constant BS surrounding Carson, to where now they're trying to mold the fan base into what we're saying now, to where, you know what, just freaking get rid of him, man, because we've had enough. You know what I'm saying? They're almost making it okay. They're formatting it to where we're okay with just getting rid of him because it's a headache now. You know what I'm saying? So, to be honest, go ahead, Greg. What?
No, I was just saying it's a complete headache. It's like you guys have all said, it's just nauseating at this point because it's always something. And I think Tom said earlier, at this point, probably half of it's true because it keeps coming out, right? But
yeah, there's definitely some level to it. There's definitely some level to it being true.
And it's one of those things where you want someone to come out and say something definitively, right? Whether Carson's going to be back, Carson's not going to be back, it's Jalen Hurts, whatever, right? But at the end of the day, at the same time, they come out and say that, they lose all their leverage if they're trying to trade them, right? If they come out and they say, all right, we're moving on from Carson. You lose all your leverage. Yeah. And even if, right, you said.
Do you, though? Do you? Because real quick, like the Rams almost said, like, yeah, we're not committing the one, which made everybody think they're trading Goff, and then they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, does it though?
Yeah, I do, because Stafford has, now granted, not the playoff success, but Stafford has a longer body of work to put that kind of out the window. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's in there, plays every day, spins the ball, right? So he's a proven quarterback. We're still, unfortunately, we're still in that unproven mode with Carson at this point. Now that this is coming back. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
And the injuries too, Greg. Stafford's been banged up the last 18 months or so, but as a career, as a whole, Carson kind of takes the totem pole as far as, hey, the more injury plagued guy has been Carson.
Yes.
Don, he's a combo. He's like a wide receiver, tight end, Pitts. He's a pimp.
Yep. And as much as I sorry, Tom, real quick, as much as I would love Carson to come out and like give a presser, it's not going to matter, as you said. You know what I mean? Like nothing that he says is going to matter at this point. The media doesn't care. It doesn't help anybody. You're absolutely right.
What does he owe anybody, too? What does he owe anybody?
Why would he want to talk to this media? Why would he want to talk to the media and look? And granted, you wouldn't be staring him in the face because it's a Zoom call. But either way, why would he want to give him his time when 99% of this media, nationally and locally, has been ripping him to shreds? Why?
Completely agree.
Why would they've been friggin' salivating to get a word out of him? They wrote friggin' articles when he did an ad campaign for friggin' Rodney McLeod on Twitter. They were writing articles saying, "Oh, he breaks his silence," even though it was a freaking ad that was most likely posted by not even him, his probably social media agent. To where, why would he spend his time making the lives easier for all the reporters? Why? And I wouldn't even think he'd be wrong by that. Be spiteful for this media.
It doesn't even have to be
no
that.
favor.
Right, too. It doesn't even have to be that either, right? It doesn't even have to be like a spiteful thing. It can just be like nothing to say, dude. It's the off season.
Yes.
Like, I'm working hard, and like he doesn't have to say I plan on being an Eagle. Like let these people continue to say what they want about you. And like I said, one of them needs to be on the move, though. As much as I like what Noah's saying and agree with that, it's already too bad. Like, because it's too much conversation and it takes away from your football team. Like, you got to move one of them. And I don't think the Bills' point, I don't think Carson is going to restructure his deal. And that's why I might have to get a fucking tattoo, because I don't think he's going to restructure to get traded. I think you'd restructure to stay here so you can bring in more talent and sign more guys. I believe in that, but I don't believe he's going to give money away. I think he would back end money. You know what I mean? But I do not believe he's going to just sign over $20 million and just assume he's going to get that somewhere else at some point, right? Like, I just can't buy into that. So that's why I just don't believe he's tradable almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think Deshaun Watson's tradable either, unless he's willing to give up money.
I know we would never, ever see the money that Carson or any of the athletes make. We're never going to see that money. Maybe, hopefully one day we do. But as a guy like that, would you just sit down and just say, okay, it's not right here. Maybe a change of city is going to help me good. And I just fork over some money to make this work, and I just get out of here. I mean, could you just see him doing that and just give in and say, all right, here's the money that you need to restructure, and then just get me out of here. But I don't see that because, like you said, Tommy, I don't think he gets that money anywhere else unless he gets back to 2017 Carson.
Are you asking us, Ralphie, if we were in his shoes, would we do it?
Yeah, would you just be like, all right, I've had enough. Here's the money that you need to restructure my contract to lower the cap for my cap hit. I want to be traded. Just send me wherever you want. If you're in his shoes, would you do that?
No, because anywhere I'm going to go, I'm going to get scrutiny if I don't play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that too. And I love your point, Tommy, with the whole I don't think he gets that, the whole money situation where, if you're betting on yourself, essentially getting that money back again if you do go somewhere else.
Yeah, bet on yourself here. Embrace whatever competition it may be. Embrace that you're getting money regardless, and go show your talent.
Yep.
Go show your talent in camp. If per se that both are here, then you just go, because there's no way there's no way that dude in shorts and upper pads does not outperform Jalen Hurts in mini camps, OTAs, every goddamn thing. You understand? There's no way he doesn't. There's just no way. Okay? I just let it all air it out to everybody right now. He'll win the job. Okay? But the question is, can these two coexist? Can they win together? Can they be on the same team? Right? And the way the media does things, it makes me nervous that they're going to try to separate these two. And they already are. Like, they already say, Jalen, do you want to be the starter? What do you think he's going to say?
Yeah. What is Jalen going to say?
Obviously, a competitor.
Yeah, what's Jalen going to say? Yeah. No, I want to hold a clipboard my whole life.
I want
I'll
him
sit
to
the
say that.
bench.
I don't want him
Come
to
on,
say
man.
it's Carson's job. I'm just happy to be here. What?
Yeah.
I would say I don't want to trade him now then because he ain't ready to compete. Like at the end of the day, you got to do your job to press him to get better, right? And the only thing that's going to get him better, everybody wants to change schemes and players and all this shit. You know what gets guys better? A little
Competition.
little fire on the feet. A little fire on the feet gets you saying, "Oh shit! All right, I want it now." Because the guy I want, Ralphie, to your whole point, the guy I want is the guy that embraces it, not the guy that runs from it. If he does run from it, I found out everything I need to know.
Yep.
And he's not my guy because my guy's gonna fight, even if he ain't the best guy in the room. He's gonna fight for that job. And he's going to do everything in his power to win it and showcase it.
And another thing, too, look at – and I know it's the Chicago Bears and Mitchell Trubisky and stuff like that. But, I mean, this offseason, right, Trubisky stinks, right? So you bring in Nick Foles and have a competition, and now Trubisky's like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Now I really got to get my shit together because if I don't, I'm not going to be a starting quarterback for much longer in this league if I don't.
And credit to him.
We all know how that road went. They brought Nick in. Nick starts a few games. Trubisky started a few games and stuff like that.
Still stinks, but he played better.
No, yeah. And listen, man, as an athlete.
You're right, Ralph. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You can finish.
Dang, you're 100% right. Like, even if you get that little jump, right? That little jump. Like, to your point, of just like a Trubisky jump, it's a lot for Trubisky because he stunk. And he did play better.
And when you don't have, as a young quarterback, right, you come into the league, you're the guy. So you really don't have that much competition. So you can get away with the little ticky-tacky bullshit at practice and everything else. But when you start to regress and your organization's like, maybe we can bring a guy in because you ain't playing up to par, then you're sitting there like shit. Then I really got to get my shit together because if I don't, I might not be in this uniform much longer, or maybe not even in the league for much longer if I don't get my shit together.
To be honest with you guys, there is no way, and I'm not giving these guys too much credit because it's just facts. There's no way that they didn't decide to have two quarterbacks on this roster without some sort of a plan on how to use them both. I stand by that. Like, I fucking stand by that. There's no way in shape or form are you giving a guy $128 million and then go drafting another guy in the second round that has a different skill set if you're not planning on trying to adapt them both into your offense. Right? We know it's the puppet master upstairs, right? We know it. So he went out and got a guy that he can control, that's going to be innovative, that's going to play them both. I'm telling you. I'm not saying Dart's getting 30 snaps. I'm saying he's going to get 10. You can book it, 10 to 15.
So do you think that was their plan this year and Doug didn't allow that, which led to him being fired?
No, because I think Doug allowed it enough. I just don't think that they win. I think Jeffrey Lurie is the guy when he doesn't win, he's done with it. And I think part of it was Doug was worn out. Like, I think it was a combo. I stand by that too.
Dude,
like,
I would be worn out too. Tommy, you have your GM in your ear 24/7 about how you should do this, how you should do that. You got to move this player over here. Dude, just shut up and worry about the fucking cap, Hal. You put my team in for next year. How about that, Howie? Just shut up, go to your office and worry about the cap. Let me be the coach. Let me have final say on who's the 53 at the end of the day. Okay? No matter what, I can't wait until we get big, right? And we can text league executives and text Schefter. I'm going to ask him one question. How many other GMs in the NFL have their hands on or the last say who plays on Sunday in the 53? I just want to know. Because it seems like no matter what happens, the Eagles are always in some type of bullshit with the front office having too many hands on the roster.
Yep, and that's fine if you want to have a collab. Right, if you're having a collab,
absolutely,
you're doing it together, fine. Now, I think these guys are not going to do it together. They just probably see eye to eye on more things. Ryan was asking me, no, Ryan, I don't think it was like, oh, you didn't play Hurts enough because he did get snaps. You know what I mean? I don't think it was that. Like, I think it was a combo of like a terrible year and you know what I mean? But I do believe they tried to go get somebody, right, to be able to play both. And Sam's thinking something else that I'm not thinking. This isn't a 2-quarterback system. This is Taysom Hill, like they said, on steroids. That's what they told us. So, so this is what this is going to be. So I truly believe, unless the media gets too deep into this, they planned on using them both. So we stink right now, right? So,
no, dude, we're gonna be bad next year. You think this team is bad, Tommy? This year? Wait until next year, dude. This team is gonna be horrible.
But wait, if we have two quarterbacks with different skill sets that defense have to adjust for, like legitimately have to like game plan for, like, and these two are more of our talented players per se. Like we can win games.
But you also got to remember, both of them have to buy in. Because if one is not buying in, it's not going to work, Tommy. They both have to buy into this system that both of them can play.
Kid. I think Jalen's a good enough kid, and I stand by this.
Me too.
That like if he's playing and he's getting 15 snaps, like a meaningful snaps, if it's RPOs, if it's whatever, right? What's he going to complain about?
Yeah.
Because in them snaps, he can be as productive as shit. I don't necessarily need to go series or anything like that, because then that makes it like a 2 QB system. But third and threes, third and fours, like get him in the game, especially if your offense is stale. And if your offense is sputtering, on a benching, you just give the guy, hey, maybe I'll give him this series.
And I totally agree. And you said that all last year, Tommy, when this whole shit was blowing up between Carson and Jalen. And I totally agree. And I love that theory. I think if Carson is stale this year on some drives, you run Jalen out and give him a drive. Okay, it might not be perfect. You might go 3 and out, but give the defense another look for the quarterback. Okay, because Hurts can hurt you in multiple ways, unlike Carson can at this point in time in his career.
What's not a real QB?
Real QB though, San. I mean, he has a 52% completion percentage. It's not good enough.
Real QB.
Okay, he has a great skill set. Why can't we just understand his skill set and the ability to have big plays? Right? So if he can come in and give us the ability of a big play in a game, a 50-yard pass, a scramble for 30, right? A big play, it can change a whole game.
They just give you juice just to get you moving.
I don't know
why you have a problem with it. Look at the fucking Packers game for a perfect example. Dude, we were dead. We were dead in the waters. We couldn't move the ball. The defense was ass. I mean, we couldn't stop nothing that game. We couldn't even move the ball past. I don't think we even got past the 50-yard line with Carson. You put Jalen in there, and we were moving and grooving, dude. Sometimes that happens. You just have to go with the flow and give the team what they need, and that was a spark in that game.
Guys, we did it against Baltimore. He played 10 snaps, and we scored points in that game. So, like, I don't.
Yeah.
Let's not let the media
beat them. We almost fucking beat them.
Yeah, why are we letting the media destroy it? Like, we shouldn't allow it as a fan base, and we're the voice of the people, to not allow them to destroy it. Like, let's be real. Like, we're trying to win football games. All that should matter to Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts is winning football games, because your stock goes higher when you win. So the end goal is hoisting the fucking Lombardis. So is it about winning, or is it about your ego? Because if you're scoring 30 plus a game, why does either one care? If Carson's throwing 2 touchdown passes a game, no interceptions, throwing the ball 30 times, what does he care if that guy gets some snaps? If he's playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level,
and we're 5-2 at the bye, and we're first place in the division. Nobody's batting an eye at that. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about that.
It's like Embiid's got to play 48 minutes, guys.
Yeah,
like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. If he plays 34 minutes and he drops 36, that's good.
Dude, what was the other night? He had almost 30 points in like 20 minutes. I mean, dude, it's unreal.
And guess what, Ralphie, Rye, Greg, Noah, guess what? It puts a little pressure on you to own and be accountable throughout the week, to be accountable in your game plan, to be accountable in everything you need to do throughout the week to get yourself ready on Sunday. All right, for both guys. All right, and you guys want competition, you want accountability. This is how you do it. Okay, this is how you find out who the alphas are in your locker room for real. Okay, because you can win games like this. The Saints
absolutely.
The Saints won games like this. Part of the reason they lost is because they didn't have Taysom Hill. They didn't have the gadget.
And they had to stick with Breeze, even though he stunk.
Yeah. So, I mean, Carson can't be better than Breeze this year? Come on. They have the ability to have an explosive offense, right? We've drafted guys to be explosive, right? We spent all these assets. We're supposed to have a good offensive line next year. Again, if they're not all injured again. But, like, you know what I mean? So, like we're supposed to be some sort of explosiveness. Like you would think we should be at least averaging 24 plus a game next year, right? Oh, there's a whole offensive genius in the house. You know what I mean? We're the Colts. You know what I mean? Well, so, why can't we? How's he not? I'm not saying he's Taysom Hill. They said it, Sixers, JT. They said he's Taysom Hill on steroids. I'm just telling you, it's a comp in a way.
Yeah, Greg's nice.
That's it. He can throw the ball better.
That's all you heard.
He throws the ball better than Taysom Hill. He's better in the pocket than Taysom.
Agree.
So it's even a better asset because it's not a one-trick fucking pony. He can beat you by throwing the football if need be. He did that in the Pittsburgh game. He threw what did he throw, Ralphie? It was like it was a seam route to Goddard or Richard Rodgers for like a 30-yard gain.
Yeah.
So why not have that ability? Because now the defense thinks, oh, is he going to run? And we get a big play, and now everybody's feeling better. Now, you know how it is. Listen, so are you going to bet just one guy in baseball? Just one guy?
Yeah,
right?
Is Harper batting 1 through 9?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, hit's contagious. So if other guys hit, gets other guys to hit, right? We've seen this for years. So let it be contagious with a quarterback. Sweep says it all the time, Greg. Like it's the only position in sports. It's like it's divified.
Yep.
Like I don't even know if that's a word, but like everybody's a diva.
Ralphie making up words tonight, so we're good.
Like it's just like I can't take it anymore. Like you guys have both been through this as athletes. Man up and want to win fucking games. So
I agree.
What else, Eagles? Anything else, Eagles? I know people are asking us stuff at 6.
I got all the Eagles talk out of me.
I'll just say on everything you guys talked about, and Tom, we've talked about it a lot on Monday. I don't think the Eagles lose. In a perfect world, the Eagles don't lose anything by keeping both of them on the roster. They don't. You don't. If anything, you find more out. Like we talked about on Monday, in a situation where we have limited expectations, if you keep them both on the roster, you're going to find out more things by keeping them both on than you would if you traded them.
Yep.
But given this climate of, obviously, I'm not even just talking about the media climate. I'm talking about the climate of all these quarterbacks on the move and a bunch of teams that are ready to win now. I'm going to continue to say it because I think it's one of the worst takes of 2021, honestly. The speculation, the narrative that we would be stuck with Carson Wentz and there would be no market for him. It's ridiculous. There's 100 quarterbacks that are going to be out there either via trade or even in the draft or free agency. You're going to see a lot of movement to where all it takes is one team to miss out on Matthew Stafford or Deshaun Watson or Jimmy Garoppolo to say, oh my God, we have the cap situation, we have the defense, we have the offense, we have the head coach. We just need that guy. And there's a lot of people have to understand that GMs aren't the fans. So just because it's like the hot Twitter thing to rip apart Carson Wentz, and in the media, it's like the hot thing to where, Deshaun Watson will come out and say, hey, I don't want to be here, but that won't be talked about. But the guy who hasn't said anything in feels like 4 months has said nothing, but it is on the leading topic on SportsCenter on Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we're not going to talk about Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady, the best quarterback right now versus the best quarterback of all time. But we're going to spend 2 hours talking about Carson Wentz, who hasn't talked for 6 months.
Dudes down south in Texas on a boat fucking fishing, and up north we got a whole media outlet spewing nonsense and bullshit about him.
But I honestly
some of it could be true.
Listen,
but
I'll tell you this too. People are like, "Well, silence tells you a lot." No, it doesn't. Shut the fuck up. Okay, well, I'll tell you something else too. Remember, Nick Sirianni.
Which a lot more people would stay silent then.
Yeah, those people should stay silent. People who are saying that should stay silent.
Nick Sirianni is 38. What? 39.
Yeah, he's young. 30, 36, 37. Yeah, somewhere in that range.
I think
39.
39. So he's a year older than me. Okay. I just thought of this. Not just thought of it, but to be innovative. Make sense? His whole staff's young.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay? So to me, the old school shit is out the window here. Right? They're going to try to create.
Tommy, I hope so. I hope so.
I gotta expect that. I gotta expect that if both of these guys are on the roster, they're gonna figure out a way to use them both. And I'm not saying 1A, 1B. I'm just talking about like we've been saying. I just had that. That's what I want. But the more you talk about it, the more you can feel better about the situation because the media really makes you feel.
Yeah, agree.
Really bad.
It's nonstop bullshit.
there's going to be a team between now and about a week after the draft that's going to be desperate for a quarterback, and either they're not going to be in their correct spot in the draft to move up, or they're not, where they're going to miss out on Deshaun Watson or etc. And they're going to offer an extra pick or an extra player, and the Eagles are going to say, wow. And Howie Roseman, who instead of just being the cap guy, what else does he always talk about? Assets. He's going to be like, oh my God, we're an asset guy. We're going to bet into ourselves. We might have a down year, but we got all these exciting assets, and that's going to make him pull the trigger.
I mean,
that's honestly what I believe.
I mean, he could. I mean, I'm not, anything's possible at this point. I just believe that he's not gonna take that hit. Like, I don't think he's gonna be willing to take that hit because he almost can't put a football team together. Like we were trying to get the money down the other night, right? Add another 15, 20, $30 million onto that. You ain't getting it down now. Like, we almost got it down. We almost got it down on Monday.
We got it down to 19.
We're feeling good. We're feeling good. Yep. You ain't getting that down with that cap hit.
I've done that a couple times at work too. Yep.
There's no way. I don't know how. This is why I said I'll get a tattoo on my ass, because I don't know how he's traded. No matter if you're backing up 3 first-rounders, I don't know how they pull the trigger. How do they afford it?
We would need all of our top guys to restructure. Now, it would need to be a plan where we cut and restructure.
It'd be a hate tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to your point, Tom, in order for them to initiate the trade, feel comfortable with it, they would have to already know that the guys who are like restructured candidates are already in for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have to make the trade knowing that right afterwards, oh my God, we have to initiate all these restructures, because that's the only way they can get it down.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, they would have to have like a 3-tiered plan. They probably already do, because it's the nerd talk. But I truly believe it's not as easy as people were saying. Like I said, I truly believe he's going to be traded. But for everyone saying, "Oh, just trade him," it's easy. He's a money guy. No, it's not just, hey, we're going to trade him and now it's good. The money just doesn't disintegrate.
The only easy part about it is there's going to be takers. Right? That's the only easy part about it, is someone's going to want them.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you real quick, and because I honestly think it's going to end up being something close to this. So knowing just the constant headache, and we know, perfect world, none of us are really getting.
John, I might join you, John.
You want to see?
We might be I might be talking about a different team if we draft Trey Lance.
Yeah, I'm not Trey Lance. I'll punch somebody square in the face.
Yeah, no. If the Colts came to you and said, we'll give you 21, this year's third and next year's second, you doing that?
No, okay. Not enough. And it doesn't matter, because Andrew Luck's coming back there. So take the Colts out of the whole equation.
Matthew Stafford set the market. Whatever Matthew Stafford got the Lions.
They just can't
unleash some of that.
Yeah, they just can't make it. There's no There's no room.
Quarterback, I love Matthew Stafford too. And Tommy, you said it, when we were starting this whole thing. The guy never won a playoff game and got an organization, 2 first-rounders, a third, and a young quarterback.
Yeah.
Like that right there, you should be able to get at least more than that offer right there, Ryan, in my opinion.
If you're not getting 2 first, there's no reason to even consider it a trade.
I'm watching a great GM on TV right now. I mean, draft day's on. Sonny Weaver Jr.'s going at it. It's my obligatory. I got to drop my Sonny Weaver Jr. line.
What channel, Greg?
It's at the very end at Paramount.
I don't give a damn. Paramount, okay.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they're telling mom,
guys, why does so many people like this is how I look at this, right? And we say it all the time, and people used to tell me all the time, "Oh, well, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid can't win together." Okay. Oh, well, they can't win together. I heard this forever, right? And I always tell people, dude, young talent, give it time, right? I'll say the same thing about this situation, even though it's so different, because we look at it different because it's a quarterback position. Make sense? Okay?
Yeah.
Like, we look at it differently. But I'll say that this is the same type of situation. Okay? Because stop looking at the quarterback position like it's his position where a guy can never leave the field. And if you start looking at the position like, okay, a guy can leave the field because you're bringing in a different wrinkle, right? And you're bringing in something else the defense has to think about. right? As long as these two guys can buy in to that, it's the same type of situation. Like, they can win together.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to, that to me is an outlandish comment because I just believe with all these young guys in-house, right? There's like 1 million young coaches on this roster. I mean, on this coaching staff.
Yep.
I would just assume that they're as innovative as we are sitting here having this conversation. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you think that? Like, they're watching the same stuff we've watched.
I would hope so, but I think we're making a pretty big leap of faith there.
A leap of faith of a guy being able to play both quarterbacks at different times, like a leap of faith.
No,
Sam, there is your top dog. This is when nobody's listening. You have your top dog in Carson, and Jalen is the magic guy, the Sam. All right, I'm not talking about a 2-quarterback system. I'm not.
No, I know that, and I would be fine with that. I'm just referring to the coaching staff that was hired, as in AKA they're Howie's puppets.
Well, listen, supposedly we got Frank Reich trades. Frank's the smartest guy to ever coach football. So if that's the case, Sirianni should be smart. But listen, a different voice doesn't.
Sirianni, to your point, Tom, Sirianni has dealt with 3 different quarterbacks in his 3 years just in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He dealt with Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, and then obviously old man Phillip Rivers. Right? And then you look at the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, whoever, the guy from Florida, I just forget his title. He dealt with 2 different types of quarterbacks too in his time in Florida.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, the cover guy, right? You dealt with the pocket passer, Kyle Trask, and you dealt with like the Felipe Franks type of athlete, runner, can't really throw. So both of these guys that you brought in have experience working with multiple styles of quarterback. So to think, to your point, Tom, to think that they can't mold a system or at least be able to work with one or not, or if not both, is crazy.
It's asinine. It's asinine when this organization has put value into them saying, guys, they're a quarterback factory. Not us. These are their words. They compared it to Taysom Hill. They did all this stuff, not us. So when you say that stuff to me, it means you want like not a 2 QB system, but you want 2 different guys and a guy that you can throw in there for 2 handfuls of plays and help your offense.
Yeah, we didn't see here.
I don't give.
We didn't sit here after draft night and night 2 and say that we're a quarterback factory. Like you guys said that.
Yeah,
Howie, you said that.
I don't give him credit, Ralph, but I'll give him credit if he actually implements this. Like, you will hear me publicly say, you finally did something right. If you go about this the way we've discussed.
You totally redeem yourself.
I don't want to hear he's not. First off, he's not. Jesse, I love you. He is not Russell Wilson. Thank you. Okay. And he's not hurt. Agreed. He's somewhere in the middle. But it doesn't mean he has to be a starter. It makes sense. It doesn't. Why can't he be a backup, grow, right, and get, like I said, 2 handfuls of plays and make our offense better? We average like 15 points a fucking game.
Yeah. We should not be throwing anything off the table idea-wise after that.
No. Everything's on. How can we get better? How can we be more explosive? Well, we both know both guys have the ability for big plays.
Yep.
So let's use them. Ralphie, if we're on 3rd and 3 at our own 45 and Jalen comes in and the defense breaks down and he throws a 30-yard seam route and a guy's wide open and takes it to the house. Is that a win for us?
Yeah.
Like, come on. I don't care about the media. We are the fucking media.
No. You'll have Howie calling a timeout from his box.
Yeah.
Jesse,
and he'll be on the phone with Nate Sudfeld. Get in there.
Our best deep thrower.
Yeah, right. Hail Mary time. No, not Carson, not Jalen. Nate, let's go. Best arm in the organization. Let's go. Hail Mary.
Best third stringer in NFL history.
Yeah, can you believe that?
You would have done Drew Bledsoe's job too and won fucking 50 Super Bowls.
But I just swear, these press conferences they just come in and say, let me just throw shit at the wall and just see if it sticks.
You know what it is, you know what it really is? The more you listen to every presser, right? It is almost like listening to like presidential candidates like sell themselves. Like it's a bunch of fucking bullshit that we're gonna tell you what you want to hear. All right, some of it might be true, but the rest of it, guess what? We really don't even fucking care about this presser. Like we got to go get shit.
Nah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's all a salesman trip. You know what I mean? Like
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
And some guys stink at it. You know what I mean? But either way, your pressers never dictate what kind of coach you are. So I know that to be true forever. Like Chip Kelly dropped my drawers in terms of talking football on the day he was hired. Actually, the day he drafted Zach Ertz, I think Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz. I think
Lane was the first round pick that year.
Yeah, and then Zach was a second.
I think Zach was the second.
And I believe he said big guys beat up on small guys. Mm-hmm. And it's like somebody just gave me a blowjob. I felt so good. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I knew that. I've been saying it. I called all my buddies. I've been saying this forever, big guys. I've been saying this forever. But it did dictate 2 10-win seasons. So it's not like it was a train wreck because of a power struggle again, right? Yep. And part of it was him, but both became train wrecks because Howie didn't want to give up on anybody. I mean, God forbid trade Deshaun or anybody. Howie wanted to keep the whole fucking team. And Chip was a great drafter, in my opinion.
He was.
And was putting together a damn good roster. He almost is like the Ed Wade. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to get any credit because he doesn't deserve it, right? But he really did put together a lot of the key pieces to our Super Bowl run.
It's why we won. I mean, you can't deny it.
The Nick Foles read option started with Chip Kelly.
It did.
It didn't start with Frank Reich, people. Okay? They went back and looked at tape. This is what they do, and they got plays that worked for Nick Foles when he threw 45 fucking million touchdowns the one year. That's what they did. I mean, this isn't brain surgery. It's what they all do. It's a copycat league. How? And that's what good coaches do. So that's credit to Frank and Duck. Like, hey, we're right here. We can win. What's best for him, right? And that's what they went and did.
Yep.
And that's what I love about that. To be able to adjust. That's what great coaches do. All right, and that's why I didn't want to give up on Doug yet, because I thought he was a big part of that, obviously. He's that fucking coach. You know what I mean? So he deserves that credit of being able to work with Nick and get the most out of him. But let's be real. I mean, okay, Notero, he drafted Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz, which is better than anything Howie Roseman was drafted. Like anything.
And sorry if you want to believe it or not, Nelson Aguilar was Oakland's or Las Vegas best receiver this year.
Yeah. We just smoked dudes. Like everybody in the league. I mean, oh my God, I'm gonna draw a blank on his name. The kid from freaking Tampa. Good one.
Chris Godwin.
I always say their names wrong. Godwin.
Yeah.
But whatever. He drops a ton of balls. Pretty good receiver though. Like, guy shot fucking footballs. Like, he wasn't a top 10 pick that's going to be like a game-changing wide receiver for the rest of his career necessarily, right? Like, he was drafted for a skill set. And Nelson's skill set showed here his whole time. And he was one of Carson's best friends. We knew this, right? They had a relationship. Like, nobody ever factors that shit in. So a guy you just work with for 5 years goes too. How do you think it hurts your quarterback even more again, right? Like, okay, you went and drafted the guy in the first round. Now he's got to gain chemistry with that guy with no all season. Like, nobody factors any of the extra shit in. Like, you take away weapons that doesn't help him. And then Zach Ertz doesn't play. Our offense went south as soon as Zach Ertz, really stopped playing.
Yep.
Like, that's when we stopped scoring. Because we were scoring with Pittsburgh and scoring with, the Ravens and the Rams. Like, we were scoring points. That was the defensive football. And we scored points again, but people forget about this. This is what I hate about people. People forgot about this. With a second-string O-line, we scored points with them. So you all want to sit back and fucking rip shit. That's the number one defense in football. And we scored with them. So, I mean, come on. Like, I don't – to say Carson's done's, I think, a joke. Like, put a half-decent offensive line around them and some guys who can make some goddamn plays. Go give me Kyle Pitts, and then if he stinks, he stinks. No, or go give me Jamar Chase. And if he stinks, he stinks. I don't want Chase because he only play the outside. But, give me Pitts. Mismatch nightmare. If he stinks, he stinks. I'm tired of it. Like, he played well at times last year early on. He got worse as the season went on, but let's not act like he was horrendous the whole year. Yeah. He was horrendous the last, 6 games he played, for sure.
The first quarter and a half, everybody was playing with themselves.
When everybody was healthy and playing, besides Brooks, in Washington, we found out to be a good football team. So it wasn't like we lost to some scrubs. They weren't great, but you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They're tough. They showed that, but we still shouldn't have lost that game. But we weren't good enough.
Washington was what?
They were tough. They're a tough team. They're built tough.
Well, yeah, they had a pretty good front seven on defense, but man, they finished 7-9. I wouldn't exactly call them a good football team.
I'll call them a solid football team from where they went from not having a quarterback. That's a good football team.
I mean, they didn't have a quarterback.
That's a good football team. No team goes 7-9, period, without at least a semi-decent quarterback. You got a guy with a fucking broken everything in his foot playing.
They had 4 quarterbacks play for him. They had 4 quarterbacks this year.
Right?
4.
And in the playoff game, they were tough, even though they lost with a fucking practice squad.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
He might have been their best one. He might have been their best quarterback all year. Heineke.
Yeah. XFLer.
They're tough as nails, Noah. I would trade spots with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. On the defensive side of the ball, they played very well at times.
Well, they had a good.
Other than that,
good young running back, good young wide receiver. So I mean, they just didn't have a quarterback, and the fact that you even went 7-9 and you beat some good teams. I don't know. I'll give them credit. I'm not crowning them. I mean, I'm just saying that
they have the brightest future out of anybody in the NFC.
Yeah, we didn't lose to a 3-win team essentially in that game. We didn't lose to a division rival, but we weren't good enough. That's the whole point. But the fact of the matter is, let's not act like he was playing he was the worst quarterback in football over the first 4 or 5 games. Because he wasn't.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree with that though? That the not to get on a Washington tangent, but they have the brightest future out of anybody in the NFC East.
No, not now. Nope.
Dallas?
No, I don't know. It depends what happens with Dak Prescott. I need to know who the quarterback is, and I need to know who Washington's quarterback is. I can't give them bright futures without a quarterback, because you're going to continue to win 7 or 8 games. You know what I mean?
There's so much unknown with every team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so much unknown, and it all, Tom, absolutely, it all centers around the quarterback position.
Okay, so listen, he threw 2 touchdowns, 2 picks in game 1. He did struggle against the Rams. He threw 2 picks.
Yeah, that game was over quick. It felt like.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, Miles fumbles at the 4, going in for a touchdown, kind of throws everything off.
We were down 17-3. It felt like by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, and granted, the rant Tommy went on earlier about Carter Hart. Yeah, I mean, sooner or later, Carson's got to make up for some things, but
can't make up for all of it.
Can't make up for it all.
Make up for so listen, he didn't play bad in game 1. He didn't play great, but he didn't play bad. It was an average game.
It was a tale of 2 halves. The first half of that game, he was the best we've seen in years. He looked like 2017 Carson.
Yeah, and the Rams was right. That's no TDs, 2 picks. Cincinnati was meh. He threw the ball 47 fucking times.
Yeah, we didn't run the ball.
225 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. San Fran, he played okay. He was 18 for 28, 193, a touch and a pick.
We were live during that game. He was more of a game manager in that game because that's all he needed to be, because Nick Mullins was just blowing up over on the other side.
Yep, he was fine. Pittsburgh, he played well. I mean, he was 20 for 35, 258, 2 TDs, 2 picks, right?
Fulgham game. That was the Fulgham game.
Baltimore, he played well, 2 TDs, no picks. Giants, 2 TDs, 1 pick, right? Dallas was bad, but he only threw the ball 27 times. And he still threw 2 TDs, 2 picks though. And then the Giants game was wasn't good enough. But I mean, look, his completion percentage 57, 60, 61, 64, 57. Then he had a 52 against Baltimore. Then 58, 55, 56, 60. Then it went 55, 40. And then, hey, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, you're done. Because then it really dropped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it dropped to the point of like, okay, let's try somebody else. But overall, like, his turnovers are egregious. But, like, if he can eliminate them turnovers, it's not like he played, like, horrendously is my point. You know what I mean? Like, if he can eliminate the picks, like, the fumbles are going to happen. It's the picks. You can't throw picks. Like, I get it. Quarterbacks fumble, dude. You know what I mean? You're trying to make a play, you fumble. Like, I'll deal with 4 or 5 fumbles a year. Like lost. You know what I mean? But I can't deal with that and the picks. Because then you get to egregious levels like where you are. You know what I mean?
What was his final stat line, Tom? Touchdown to interception ratio. 16 and 14, 16 and 15, something like that.
TDs, and I don't know why it's not pulling up his picks. I got to count them out. Hold on. Fucking horseshit, they don't add them up.
I think it was. I'll pull it up now. I think it was 16 and 14, if I remember correctly.
16. Yep. Well, 16 and 16. Sorry, 16, 16.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up because I always make this comparison, and granted, it's going to be a little bit skewed because Carson didn't play a full 17, 16 games. I'm going to look at Baker Mayfield, who faced a very similar situation, not this season, but the year before, with the offensive line, and everyone thought he was done. And I'm not saying Carson's going to end up being Baker. I'm not saying Baker's Carson.
But right, his completion percentage up until this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's run this off to you. 62, 60, 69, 63. This year, 57. So that's one bad year in terms of your completion percentage, which we all know how important that is. 63, 69, 60, 50, 62. Jalen Hurts is going to consistently throw a 52% completion percentage in that range. Not good enough to win, guys. It's not good enough to win every day, right?
Yep.
Okay? It's not, right? So this guy can complete way more passes than you guys than we give him credit for. And this year was a shit year completion percentage. Why? Because there was nothing around him. You can't continue to expect guys to be locked in when he never has that guy. And this year even more so because his main guy was a pussy in Zach Ertz. Right? His main guy. So that's what you're going to get. It's fucking horse shit that we run this out of this city. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
And to that point, if anybody thinks that Jalen Hurts, who is not as accurate of a passer, is going to automatically be better with the same lack of weapons around him, is crazy.
Well, we saw it. We saw what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was saying, and then people wanted to say, they wanted to add reasons to why Jalen Hurts was bad, but they were the same reasons that people called excuses when Carson was in. They were saying, when Jalen was struggling late in the year, oh, the offensive line is bad. Oh, the wide receivers are dropping passes. Miles isn't doing his job. It's like, isn't that exactly what Carson had to deal with?
Ryan. So
Tom.
Jay says, Tom, that's like saying Jameis looked decent in 2019. If you take away his 30 picks. That's not what I'm saying. Because what I'm saying is, if you listen to me, all right, and I'll do this again just for funsies, right? Because we just love doing it. Okay. If you look at his TD interception ratios every year, 16-14 his rookie year. Okay. 33-7, 21-7, 27-7 last year or 2 years ago with over 4,000 yards. Okay.
7-7-7.
Then 16-15 in a terrible, disgraceful year. Jameis Winston never did that over a 4-year stretch. Not even a 1-year stretch. Not even a 1-year stretch. Every year, I don't even got to look at his numbers. I can guarantee you every year he's in double-digit interceptions.
I was going to say, has he? I want to feel like at least every season he's had at least 15 interceptions.
Every fucking year.
And the only reason and I'm not a big, huge, qualifying stats, but the only reason he threw for over 5,000 yards is because they were always down.
Yes. And look at the weapons he had, Greg. Look at the weapons.
Yeah, Jameis. Yes. They were always down, coming from behind.
Here you go. So his career, every year, Jameis Winston, rookie year, 22-15.
Yeah, rightfully so.
28-18. 19-11, 19-14, 33-30.
Yeah, not good enough. Not 1 year where you can say, okay, I got 1, 2, I got 3 years in a row.
Well, that's why Winston is no longer a starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Of the many reasons.
I can absolutely say that, Sam, because that's been his whole MO, his whole career in college. So, I mean, you got to take some completion percentage off his college years, too. I mean, somebody go tell me what his college completion percentage is. Because I'm not going to guarantee it's not lights out. It might have been better at Oklahoma because Lincoln Riley helped them. But it's nothing like you're going to fucking crown the NFL. And if you got eyes, you can pretty much say he's never going to be like a 62er. Like, if you just had fucking eyes, you tell me he's going up 10% completion percentage right now? You got faith in that? I'll take a bet saying I'll send you A2D gear if he ever starts and completes over 60% of his passes for a season. All right? Send you a hoodie, and I'll send you a hat. One, because I like to give if I'm wrong, too. But, two, I don't think I'm going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe give you a 58 piece. Winner. You know, I'm not. This isn't a hate Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen. You guys know this. Like, I'm not a Jalen Hurts hater, but I just know what he is, and it's not a shot at him, but he can be a fucking leader, and let him be one of your leaders, because if he has a role, he's going to be a leader, right, Ralphie? If you give a guy a role, you give him the ability to be a leader too, right? So if he comes in the Sundays knowing his role, and his role is 15 plays, 20 plays, whatever, right? That guy can't be a leader.
That's like someone said earlier. Or Hurts, Taysom Hill knows his role. Well, yeah. I mean, if you come into the season and you figure it out, what his role is, then he's going to know his role.
Did he throw 70% at OU?
I think he did.
I mean, I could throw. I agree with Johnny. I might be able to hit a 60% at OU because nobody
in the Big 12, Tommy.
Yeah, nobody's sniffing defense. But go look. See, you won't give me that, Johnny. Johnny, go back and give me now Alabama. Now give me SEC. And light me on the NFL minors.
Here you go. Ready? So 62.8 his freshman year, 60.4, 72.9. And then 69.7 at Oklahoma. So and let's call it like it is. That 72.9 was only 70 passes attempted in 2018. That was the year he got benched for Tua. So he got benched in the 2017 NCAA championship at a 60% completion percentage. Sat and just played mop-up duty in 2018, where, of course, you're going to throw 72% against backups.
Not fair. Listen, I'm wrong.
And then 69%.
Listen, I mean, that's college, though, too, right? So you take it for what it is. I'm not knocking him that he can't throw, but also remember, in both systems, they got guys wide open because they got special sets of skill position guys. And OU, they always will, but at Alabama, they always did. And that's not taking a shot at him. You still got to play football. But we don't have that here. That's why Carson struggled. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's the whole point, right, Greg?
Yep.
You give a guy weapons that grow with, and that's where you'll see the best out of your quarterback. Like somebody said Big Ben had a terrible year at one point. Peyton did. Peyton's was inexcusable because he had a ton of weapons. But it was like the same guys. You know what I mean? It was Marvin and Reggie. So it's like, how are you digressing?
Yeah.
Dallas Clark.
Like, how are you not good? But, like, exactly, Jesse, because, like, guys are going to have them years. So it's like, okay, right. That's why me and you talked about Pitts for fucking 2 hours in one day.
Yeah, player breakdown.
Yeah, because we're like, you know what? Like, 6'6", red zone threat, catches everything, double coverage when you go watch him. You know what I mean? Go watch any highlights on him. He's just not making plays. Like, Jamar Chase looked good to me, but he wasn't, like, going up over top of motherfuckers and, like, guys can't guard him. You know what I mean? Like, I want somebody you can't guard. Like, you can't guard him with a corner. You can't cover him with a linebacker. Night. Now I got roll coverage, and who's my quarterback's best friend? Tight end.
Yep,
so,
literally, especially in this in this city.
He loves them. But most good quarterbacks like him because, look at Mahomes. Got a pretty good one. Brady's always loved Gronk. Brady's always usually had tight ends when he was winning. Like, you need tight ends. I mean, you don't want murderers, but you need tight ends.
Oh,
great.
It's so crazy, isn't it, though, guys?
It is.
And it's 16 and 15 is like atrocious, but it's like, do you know how many quarterbacks that are starters in this league
that are worse than that?
That like essentially are worse than that, and that's the worst year of his career. And like nobody can give it like a mulligan in a way and be like, you know what, guys, let's have some faith.
Mulligans all the time.
Like, see him next year, and then we'll really make a decision, right? Because if he does it next year, then you're like, okay, that's it. I had enough. Right, Ralph? Right, guys?
You lose nothing. You gain more. You don't take the cap hit. You learn more. Hell, you learn if these two can coexist, according to the media, because they can't. You know what I'm saying? You will learn more in a year where you're not going to win that much anyway. And hey, what if in the wild case he plays well?
TJ, babe, you think that he ain't got, if his eyes ain't right, that he ain't getting LASIK and he's got 40-40 vision? And you think, come on, man. Come on. These guys make so much goddamn fucking money. What do you want? You want new eyeballs? I get LASIK.
We got these new prosthetic ones.
Fucking, they'll say you. I mean, listen, the game's fast, and the game's built on trust. I'll say this a million times. It's not an excuse, but this game is built on trust at the quarterback position. All right? And for anybody out there that tells me it's not, go look at who's playing in the fucking Super Bowl and tell me it's not based off of trust. Okay? And based off of knowing where guys are at. All right, Tampa was getting fines because they were working out in the all-season together. Remember? They were getting fines because they were all working out. Okay? We didn't gain that. We didn't do any of that shit. Right? Like, we need to gain it with young players in Carson immediately. And hopefully this year he can have a little bit more confidence in what's out there with him. Right? And then these guys can grow too, right? Like Quez, all of them. Hightower, Reger, like, even Umbrella Boy, right? Fogel, right? These guys can grow together with each other a little bit, right? Well, you add Pitts to that mix and Goddard and Miles, fucking giddy up. And Jalen with like 15 sacks, giddy up. Giddy up 32 a game. Giddy up.
So Tom, would you take Pitts over Smith, or are you just assuming Smith is not going to be available at number 6?
No, it's a fair one. One, I don't think he should be available. I've always been like Smith is my number one guy, but like just like I just said, no, and all the assets we've used at the wide receiver position already, that it's like
right.
I don't. You do it again to yourself. So I almost look at like I'd rather. The big question is, who would I rather have, Surtain or Pitts? That's the big one that gets me caught in a frenzy because I love Surtain, like love him. But it's like, what do I want to do? Where would you guys go?
Well,
like
if he's the best player on your board at number 6, you got to take him. I mean, we don't exactly have a big play corner.
And I don't even know how big play he is. I just know he's always going to be in position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's going to open field tackle. Like,
yeah, he's not that ball hawk type of quarterback, but he's also very rarely ever tested, at least at the college side. Well,
I'll tell you what, if he could cover the opposition's number 1, I'll take that.
Well, I think he can because I think he was born to do it. Because of daddy, that's what just sells me even more on him. But if you listen to anybody talk about him or you just watch him, he's always around. But if you want to really help your quarterback out, like I know, listen, Smith runs every route. I love Smith. I just can't draft another wide receiver. So I'll go to the second closest to that. And a tight end that can play inside, outside, beat corners. Go watch highlights on him. And you'll be like, holy fuck. You know what I mean? Because he's going up against corners on the outside and winning one-on-ones. And he's like, okay, all right. Because that's what like Kelsey does. That's what the good ones do. That's what Gronk did in New England when he was younger. Like that. That's what Ertz could do. You want explosive offenses. You need a big time tight end. I wouldn't even get rid of Ertz. I would just sign Ertz. But if you're not going to sign Ertz and just keep your fucking top 5 tight end because you're fucking an idiot, okay? And you're not going to keep Ertz, then you got to draft Pitts. So if you're going to keep Ertz, then guess where I go? Then I go 13 because then it's a no-brainer. I still want to hold a gun to their head and say, what the fuck are you doing with a 29, 30-year-old tight end? What are you doing? What are you doing?
That wants to be here.
Like, what are you doing? Somebody better sneak up, like, yo, what you doing, Howie? What you doing? Why, guys, why would we get rid of him? I don't understand. Like, Ralphie, somebody enlighten me why we're getting rid of a 30-year-old tight end. Like he's fucking 40. Like we're talking about him like he's at the end of his career. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Because this is how Philadelphia works. When you don't put your best foot forward on the football field, and you don't produce anymore. Even one down year, you get ran out of the city.
Listen, I'll say this: you got Frank bitching about getting up early before we came on, right? And I got to get up early too, Don. We all do. And look at this: 1 o'clock, we're still going. All right, it's about the people. It's about getting off frustrations too, because that's fun too. But like, I don't like. Just keep them. Keep him. You got a relationship with him and the quarterback. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You don't have to stay.
Panic sets in, man. I'm telling you.
If you're going to trade him, you should have done it last offseason.
You let the voices start creeping in your head like, I don't think this is going to work. But in reality, it's been working for the past 5 years, except for one down year.
You're right, Ralphie. Donovan, if he catches 85 fucking balls, I don't care if he has 1 yard yak. I don't care. If he's extending the change and just catching footballs, what do I care? The year he had 100 plus catches, I don't give a shit.
We didn't care what he caught the biggest touchdown in Eagles history.
Had some yak there.
Got some yards on that one.
I'm just not in the business, man. I'll trade Goddard before I traded his ass. The fuck's wrong with this organization? One guy's proven he's a Pro Bowl All-Pro tight end. The other guy's been in the tent.
Like, I
don't think we have enough time to go into what's wrong with this organization.
Give me multiple reasons why we should trade Zach Ertz right now.
None.
And if it's because he had one down year, that's ridiculous. Because of one down year for the past 5 years between Carson and Zach, now you want to trade him?
Ralphie, it's the dumbest.
I don't know, man.
It's the dumbest decision of all time. It makes zero sense. It's panic. It's ego, right? Because we're back to the ego in the room, and the ego in the room drafted Dallas Goedert. So the ego in the room wants to move on and wants to segue. This is what we're doing. We're segueing into stinking. Let me tell you, Noah. You were talking about tickets beforehand. You and Ralphie, don't fucking buy a ticket for this football team until they decide they want to win football games again. You want to hold them to the fire of this 5-year fucking rebuild, this jackass said? Don't buy a goddamn ticket or anything related to the Philadelphia Eagles, and we can make a statement that, hold on, you said 5 years, babe? Better win. You better start trying to win next year.
Ralphie,
right now.
Ralphie, you paying him then? You giving him an extension?
No, I would let his contract run out.
Well, he's not going to. That's the problem. That's why he's getting traded, because he's not going to do that.
So just pay him till he's fucking 34. Who gives a shit? Pay him till he's 34.
Just throwing money around.
Why not?
Why? So we see Jason. I mean, he's already Jason Witten.
Dude, tight ends can play to their 35 easily. Pay him till he's 34.
We hate him because he's a Cowboy, but Jason Witten's a hell of a tight end.
Oh, fucking favor.
Is Jason Witten the good tight end the last 3 years, Greg?
Like 40, right?
Right.
Enough. There was at least one team that wanted to come out of retirement, and then gave it another year. Yeah, so how bad was he?
How'd that pan out for him, Greg?
He's 40, right? I'm talking about playing Zach Ertz till he's 34. When Jason Witten was 34, he was catching balls.
With all the holes this organization has, I'm not paying him.
Why would you not pay an all-pro tight end?
He's already paid.
He's already paid.
He wants more money, Greg.
So
that's the whole reason we're in this
deal. It's common 101.
They tried that. That's what caused it the rift. That's what they tried to do.
If you give him money next year, if you guarantee him money, not this year coming up, if you start giving him extra money starting the following year, when your cap isn't nowhere as bad as it is this year, and you give him a $5 million bonus that following year to start it off, and you give him extension of whatever it is. You got 2 years left, so you give him a 3-year extension. You take him till he's 34 years old, where he's still going to be productive as shit for his organization, common sense, and he's catching 80, 90 balls a year, easily at worst 70. All right, and 70 balls is hard to come by in the National Football League anywhere. It's a no-brainer. If he was 32 right now, then it's a different story. It's a totally different conversation because, he's already paid till he's 34. I'm not paying him till he's 38. He's not going to turn down something till he's 34 years old. He just ain't. He ain't turning it down. There's no way. There's no way. It was about an extension, right? It was about that they weren't giving him an extension on his deal. He wanted an extension because he wanted some guarantees. Make sense? He just wanted his own guarantees. These guys do this all the time, right? Now they start wanting more, which is fine. Want what you want. But now just give it to him. Like, it doesn't make sense not to.
The biggest thing was he wanted a long-term extension. He wanted to get paid anywhere from Hooper to Kittle. They wouldn't do that. Then they offered front-loaded money instead of, that way it can alleviate some years, and that's when he got offended. That's the thing. He wants something that he's not. And in this I love him to death. And I'm not saying he's done, but in a situation where we have 100 different holds, not even on the offensive side of the ball, on the defensive side of the ball, I'm moving him. I would have moved him 12 months ago.
You're missing the biggest thing now. His leverage went out the window on that big deal by this year.
Yeah, that's why I said I would have traded him 12 months ago. Yes,
it doesn't matter because now he put this out there. He put this kind of year out there, and that lowers his value. So now you go back to the drawing board, right? And you try to offer him something else now, and you see if he takes it. Because he was banged up this year, he might jump on less money than he would have a year ago. You know what I'm saying, right? So if he wanted a $100 million deal per se last year, right? Now you probably get him for 80. So you understand? So now you hold the leverage. So now you go back to him. You want to be here so bad. Here's $75 million. Starting the following year, giddy up.
I don't see them doing that.
Well, if they're smart, they do it. You said it yourself. This organization has a lot of holes. So, being that when guys are 30 or under right now that play certain positions, right? Because you have holes and they're proven, you keep them guys because you got so many other fucking holes. Like, I love Pitts, but I'm going back to the tight end again now too. I have 2 tight ends. What the heck am I doing? I need a defense. I need linebackers. Fine, give me Jamar Chase then. Give me some.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? Because, like, that's where I'm at, right? Like, I want to keep some of the guys that I know can play. If I want to get any good quarterback play, if I want to win games, I'm not on Jeffrey Lurie's mindset. I'm on Tom Arnone's mindset. And mindset is I can still win games next year. I can still win a fucking division. I want to play a fucking game. Fuck this shit with Carson Wentz. And Jalen Hurts getting 15 snaps.
Well, of course we could win the division next year. This division's a dumpster fire. It's a disgrace that we were in last place in this division this year.
I would trade Goddard. That's where I stand. I would trade Goddard.
You're really only on Pitts just because you know and you assume that Ertz is gone. You're not trying to get all 3 of them.
No. And that's why it even makes more sense, right? The conversation about Pitts is like, we have so many holes, but we already got somebody that we know can play there at a high level. So we talked about the need for corner, linebacker, et cetera, right? Then we'd be smart to just say, okay, well, we know what we have here. Why go there? Why go there again? We just traded Dallas Goedert too, not that long ago, right? So we expected him to be good. So why don't we go Surtain?
Well, your mindset is correct, but the GM's mindset is, okay, we know that we're already at a rift with a 30-year-old Zach Ertz. Let's draft a kid that's going to be 5 years. Well, first off, 5 years of being cheaper, about 10 years or 8. I don't know how old he is. How old is he? Like 22, 21?
Yeah. Yeah.
8, 9 years younger. And now, hey, we're going to be bringing in a kid who's younger and cheaper and be getting a 3rd to 2nd to even 4th round pick asset.
It doesn't make you better, though. It doesn't guarantee you to make you better.
You're right, but this is the same organization that's talking about a 3 to 5 year plan. So they're not trying to get better right now. They're looking at a 3 to 5 year plan.
Yeah, no, I listen. I get it. I don't,
That's why, like I said, the mindset of you guys keeping these guys. It's not wrong. I'm just at the point now where I'm done fighting for people with Carson and Zach. Where I just don't think they're going to be. I'm just not going to do it.
Well, why? Like the fact of the matter is, them two can be explosive together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, forget the organization. Like, if we're just trying to win any type of football games, and we want Carson to show he's the guy, wouldn't we want to keep his safety blanket here? The one guy that he knows where he's going to be at. Like, wouldn't we want to try to do that? If we're trying to save Carson Wentz, if it's a save Carson Wentz tour, which is this summer, this winter, spring, summer was all about, right, guys? The save Carson Wentz story in Philadelphia. We got to save him. We got to bring a coach to save him, right? So if we're trying to save him, to me, like this is just me talking. If we're trying to save him, then I want to at least keep a guy who's 29 years old, who's a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro in this league, to try to help save him too.
Yes, you're not wrong, but I would also like to hope and see what he would do without Zach Ertz, especially if he is going to be our franchise guy.
Why would I need to do that? Like, why would I do that, though? Because chemistry is so important. Why did I care what Carson does without Zach Ertz? Like, I want Carson to see Carson do good with Zach Ertz, Jalen Reagor. I want to build. I want to see him do good with Dallas Goedert. New England won championships with 2 tight end sets. Like, it's like a lot of teams love 2 tight end sets. So, and I know the guys from Indy like it too. So it's not something that they're not familiar with or don't like. So it's like not something. All I'm saying is, hey, try and talk some good things into existence once in a while, because we're being so negative on the Eagles. We need to talk like, well, dude, if you did this, you'd be in better shape. And then when they don't do it, I can scream and yell when something doesn't work next year and say, guess what? I told you. All right. So I want Carson to be great with Jalen, right, and all the young pup receivers, right. But I also want to know coming into a season that I have a safety blanket that's an all-pro tight end. It's mind-boggling. And no, what am I saying? There's no sentiment. I hate Deshaun Jackson. I would have never brought him back. All right? I had no sentiment for JP. I want JP to back up Dillard or fight for the fucking job. Make Dillard work. I wanted competition. Remember that word last year?
There's a difference than sentiment and a guy that can still play. Deshaun Jackson and Jason Peters are older. There was no inclination that they could still play at the high level that they just were.
Thank you.
This isn't a 32.
Look, neither one of them have anything left in the tank with regards to Jackson and Peters. I would be shocked if they were on this roster next year.
Agreed, Noah. They're not. But I wouldn't be surprised if that guy that we mentioned is back, too. Yeah. I'm also not surprised if they trade him. like I'm not surprised either way. I just would like for him to be back because he's not like me being sentimental over an older player. And not at all. I mean, if he was 33 and I'm throwing out these words, I'd punch myself square in the fucking mouth.
Absolutely.
He's 29, 30. I mean, tight ends are in their prime, so they're 34. So this is when you pay them. This is when you pay tight ends. This is what happens. All right. Yeah, Jesse, I want younger too, babe. But why can't I get younger on defense and go fill some holes there first and not feel pressured to have to go offensively, right? Think about it. It opens up your ability to be more creative in the 6 hole. Or say, you know what? I'll trade out the 9, get more draft picks so I can get younger that way, and I can always cut bait with guys. Right? I can always cut Zach Ertz in 2 years. Stop acting like it's always got to be a 4-year. You know what I mean? Good talk, boys. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And there's, again, he wants to be here, so you would think that if you come with, at least a fair offer, there should be something to be done.
Hey, boys, it's been a pleasure, but I got to call it a night.
Going with you, Noah. We're coming with you, babe. Hold on, Al. We're coming in for a landing. We're getting out of here. Listen, fam, thank you guys all for tuning in late and and staying with us tonight. Okay, it was a fun show.
Absolutely.
We talked about a lot of everything, which was fun. Sixers look good. They play again tomorrow night. Flyers play Friday, I believe, and then the Sixers play again Saturday. So
yeah, Flyers play Friday against Boston again.
And listen, we know many of our families deal with mental health and addiction issues, and even more so through the quarantines and the shutdowns and everything else. All right, guys. So, I mean, we are here to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, call 856-651-8117. Close friend of mine, trust them, and runs 2 great programs, and they're there for you. And the mental health, you can do telehealth calls too, where you don't have to show up anywhere. You know what I mean? You do it virtually. So you can get somebody to talk to. Listen, we're here for the right people. Like, I'm not going to support every business, right? I'm going to support the ones I believe in that I've seen help people. So if you need it, reach out. Okay, fam, we love you all. Fly, Eagles, fly, obviously. All right, but little here they come because they look fucking good. Fuck everybody. Joel Embiid's here, and I love it. And I'm glad now I'm okay with sitting through all the bullshit. Thank you, guys. Look at all the time. We love you guys. Love you. Tomorrow night, you got Birds of a Feather, Hockey Happy Hour. Got Riley Cote on with them. You got another guest. You got another guy on after as well, another hockey player. I'm drawing a blank. Sorry, it's late. But I got Riley Cote on and Body Check Wellness tomorrow night while live with the Hockey Happy Hour. And Riley's on. Riley's going to be giving out a jersey, okay? So first off, you're going to get a free jersey. We're going to give a winner a free jersey. Riley will give away. We're going to give A2D gear away. And tomorrow night, the Body Check Wellness is 40% off a bundle. So it's a bundle deal. And you're saving a ton of money. So check it out. It ends up coming to like $111 or something, or $119. And it's like 100 and whatever 40% off is. Like $180, $90 worth of product. Something crazy. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Jackass. I have it copied. Come on, Tom. Grow up. Go to your notes one time. It's bigger than you. $269 normal price. Okay. With a promo code wellness. And it'll be, so we'll have to put this in the back end. It'll be $119.99. Look at all that money. And it's the THC free wellness box will include our gummies, our Focus and Clarity, which I love, our roll on, and our THC free blueberry extract. Amazing savings. And obviously a Riley Cote autograph. So stay tuned tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, Hockey Happy Hour, wherever you're at. Like, subscribe, follow, hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. We love you all. We can't thank you enough for staying with us for so long. Fucking three-piece nugget for Tom Arnone, Ralph Delvecchio, Ryan Brodo, Noah Eaton, Greg Milakovic, the family out there. We thank you. You can catch all our podcasts on everywhere you get your podcasts. iHeartRadio, iTunes, Speaker, Google Play, SoundCloud, fucking everywhere. Fair enough? Hey.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.